7 o'clock in St. Louis. You're listening to The Morning After. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the program. Jackson Burkett is on the ones and twos. Chairman Kurt takes your phone calls and emails. 314-974-0101. Callier and Thompson phone lines. 314-399-9646. It's your Comfort Service text inbox. And, of course, talk it over with other TMA listeners in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat where friends gather for the next 5 hours, Doug, and they talk with us, and it's wonderful to interact with the listeners.
It's a long time.
But you have a responsibility, and that's the Lifetime Roofing, online, Lifetime Roofing, STL.com, Lifetime Roofing lead. And I imagine, based on the PolosPlus.com dossier, that it will be what took place last night in San Antonio.
No, sir.
With the Spurs in a stunning development. Got an open look. Didn't call the timeout, though. And why, look what happens. The T-Wolves go and take down Wemby. Of course, you also have the option of what happened last night in Carolina. For the first time in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Flyers got themselves a lead on Carolina, a team that hadn't even trailed yet and hadn't lost yet. But why, look, they came back and got themselves a win to improve to 6-0 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Or maybe you want to preview the Battlehawks game.
No, none of that. None of that.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot of good
choices,
options.
a lot of things you're saying no to.
There's only one choice. It's getting repetitive, but the lead again is our St. Louis Redbirds. Winners again. Winners again. Got the top spot in the wild card race, and it's not too early to start counting it down.
You sure you didn't see Wemby?
I didn't see Wemby, no.
Show prep pass.
No.
Doug, I was watching that Cubs score, and I was worried because they were about to lose. We were going to pick up a game on first place Chicago. Is it a little too early for that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, then they walked it off, and now you're two back.
Michael Conforto, Martin.
Didn't realize he was on the Cubs, but he is. They get a walk-off win, and now, Doug, we're two back. Is it time to panic?
Well, not quite yet.
Okay.
But you don't want to fall any farther back.
Yeah.
I think the
not
Cardinals,
on May 5th.
Cardinals have got to be I guess, the biggest surprise in baseball so far.
I was talking to Greg Amsinger on the 2 Fox yesterday, and he said that is, in fact, what they're talking about. MLB Network. He said all the shows now are kind of looking at the Cardinals, and he said what changes with, like, the national shows is if they know kind of the team. Like, if the lineup's the same most nights, then the analysts, the pundits start to kind of know the team. He said when it's just random and they just keep moving around, nobody pays attention. But he said now you walk around the halls of MLB Network, they'd probably say, oh, Weatherholt, Herrera, Burleson, Walker.
Yeah.
There is kind of a core group here that you can kind of count on.
Yeah, they've pretty much got that lineup down. They run the same thing out or something very similar almost every night now.
Shocking Homer Doug would pick the Cardinals as the lead. This is a Battlehawks town. That's from Big Tough, so he is not happy with your selection for the Lifetime Roofing lead.
All right. Well, he's going to have to deal with it because this is the lead, and it shall remain the lead. Nothing else even close.
314-974-0101. Callier and Thompson phone lines. That is the way that you can call into the presentation. And then also you can text in, and Jackson will update text inbox names. If you don't have one, text in, say, hey, Jackson, any chance you could find a second to change my name from the 573 or 636 to Bill's Hole or something like that? And then Jackson does it. That's what he's over there doing right now. Look at him. He's as busy as the tiniest of beavers.
Looks like he is. What are you doing over there?
What am I doing?
What?
Working.
Okay. Yikes.
That cleaned it up.
That's all that was. Battlehawk, roar, roar, roar. That's from Gene Thomas, Doug, and he is in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. 6,850 people have subscribed. You subscribe, and you can watch the program and talk it over anytime you want. It's the TMA STL YouTube channel. Biggest story from last night's game. Doug, what would you go with that?
Leahy looks really good. Or he did last night. Herrera had the big hit, the 3-run double. I guess it would probably be Leahy's performance.
I think I
5
would
1/3.
go with Pat Murphy electing to walk the bases loaded before Herrera comes up. That's what I would go with. Martin, what would you go with?
That moment was unbelievable because it's a rookie, and then Herrera said post-game, like, I love JJ, but he's a rookie. And it's kind of that Lasorda, Jack Clark moment. You walk JJ to get to Ivan Herrera. If I'm Herrera, I would feel a little disrespected. Yeah. Clean the bases, Doug.
Oh.
Bases loaded double after they walk. I get it because it was second and third. Set up a double play. Herrera's a double play candidate. But I don't know that I want to just open the door for a guy like Herrera to drive in some runs, and he did. You don't mess with this team, Doug, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
It was disrespectful, Mr. Murphy.
Every time you walk somebody intentionally, it's disrespectful.
Yes. First time in JJ's young career, he got the IBB.
He'll probably get a lot more of those as it goes on.
Here is Ali Marmol talking about the team's relentlessness as they win yet again, this time over the Brewers.
Just continue to add pressure regardless of what's going on. If we were down 6 today, I think our guys would have done the same exact thing, just regardless of score. Just be a tough at bat, and I love the fact that we created a lot of opportunities, and then in points in that game we were able to actually cash them in.
Yeah. How competitive Herrera is. They walk, hit somebody in front of him. What do you think that does to his mindset when they walk intentionally in front of him?
He enjoyed every second of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he did after he got the double. I don't think it's necessarily disrespecting someone when you walk somebody to get to him. But in this case, it certainly wasn't the move to make.
What about the media laugh?
I enjoy the media laugh. You have to. You don't even have to say anything funny. If you just kind of smile at the end of your sentence, the media will go,
Coach or manager sits down. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a wild one. Thank you.
And all of a sudden it turns into Def Comedy Jam?
Yeah.
Is that Russell Simmons?
I think so, yeah.
And he married a St. Louis girl, didn't he?
I don't know.
Hazelwood? Kamora Lee? Hazelwood?
I don't know.
What if the coach or manager said, "Oh, you guys are a live one. A rabbi walks into a bar and just starts doing thank you, Doug. Thank you."
Oh, this is good comedy.
Well, unfortunately, despite the win, they are not happy in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Kitty Bates says, any of you chat sads checked out the TMA Searcher Skeleton Alternative? Good stuff. And once again, the audience of this program outproduces the actual producers. Doug, what in the hell is the TMA Searcher Skeleton Alternative?
I don't have any idea.
Martin, I know you don't know. I feel like Chairman Kurt is kind of in tune with that religious right of the TMA audience. What is this? Doug, what is this?
I don't know. I just don't.
Chairman Kurt's going to tell you.
There's a website, I believe it's tmasearcher.com, that a listener has created. I'm not sure of his name, but he wrote some sort of program that I guess aggregates all of the old clips, and there's search features, and it's audience produced. So if you want to hear Doug laughing at a Rob Ray getting hit with a puck, you can search Rob Ray and go find that segment.
Really?
Martin, you ever do that?
Not yet. I'm going to put that down. What do I do? Search Rob Ray hit by a puck, and then Doug's going to laugh.
Rob Riggle. You guys like Rob Riggle? I like those sketches he would do on the Fox pregame show.
Yeah, he's all right.
Jeez.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like a big fan.
I'm kind of with Doug on it.
Not the funniest guy in the world. He's all right.
Is that because he's Rock Chalk Jayhawk?
I don't know. That's the reason.
By the way, Doug's laugh, especially when he gets on those the thing when he can't stop. I was at the Billiken Golf Tournament yesterday, and a gentleman came over and said how much of a fan of the show he is. He said, I go all the way back. When you were on it that first time. Okay, way back. But he said sometimes you just need a good laugh. He said his wife was in the hospital. She'd been in a coma, and he said he's driving down to the hospital to see her, and Doug had one of those laughing fits.
Yeah,
and he said, I just started laughing out loud, and he said, I just needed a good laugh. So he wanted to thank you, Doug, for one of your many laughing fits.
All right.
So you don't realize, Tim, you don't realize the good that we're doing.
Saving lives.
We are doing great things.
Yes.
Saving lives.
Not according to me, according to the listeners.
Oh.
But he was very sincere.
Oh, well, thank you.
Appreciated the laugh.
All right. It'll wear you out. It'll wear you out if you can't stop.
And what did you have
cardio.
you had hiccups for months on end? For like a year?
I had it for not a year. I had it for 9 days straight. When I was in the hospital.
How'd those shows sound? Oh, you weren't out on
I was in
the
the hospital at the time.
Okay.
I figured it was about 40,000 a day.
Oh, no, I've been exposed. That's from Alex. Doug, what does that mean?
Is he the guy that's put together this
Yeah,
search engine?
that's the proprietor. Of
You know
TMA.
Alex.
I've seen his name. I think
Just Alex?
I don't know his last name. I think he has one, but I don't know it.
It seems like a lot of work that he would have to go through to do this.
I'm just in the music side of things.
What do you mean you're doing music for it?
No, just in
Music
my
videos.
album and the music
Oh, of
creation.
course. Yes.
My album.
This is like talking to a real housewife who has 30 LLCs with zero revenue. All right, Alex, call on in. Let's talk about Doug. TMAsearcher.com.
Okay.
314-974-0101. And you also are welcome to text in at 314-399-9646. And, of course, talk it over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Jackson, I feel like Kitty Bates was going after you. Would you like to respond to Kitty Bates, who seemingly hates the program, but we're all grateful to her, I believe it's a her, support of watching and listening every single day, bringing us all closer to a South Florida residence.
I think you said it all right there. Doesn't really. Someone wants to make. I assume they're using the transcripts of the show because now it's easy to quickly get transcripts of the program. Most podcast platforms have their own system of doing so. You can also put it into any basic AI and get the transcript of the show, so it's easy to search things based on keywords. So if someone wants to do that, good on them, I say.
Doug, good on him, I say.
Good on him, yeah.
How about that?
I think, boy, you said a mouthful there.
Yeah, well, am I going to be upset because someone makes it easier to listen to the program?
No.
Sounds great to me.
The more people listening to the show, the better. The more people hating the show, the better. Just keep listening to the show. John F. Kennedy.
He talked about TMA.
He did. He's
Texted
a
him.
He
huge
was
fan.
way ahead of
He
his
saw it
time.
coming.
Texted in.
He warned Americans in the 1960s. This nonsense is on the horizon. Here is J.J. Weatherholt following the victory last night.
Oh, timing is everything in this business, man. Please hit the lever, Charlie.
For us, it's just making sure our lineup, 1 through 9, has a plan of what they want to do and just trying to execute that. And, when we have good plans and the pitchers attack us how we thought so and we stay disciplined and convicted to those plans, then, you have an opportunity to impact the ball or take a walk or things like that. And like you're saying, just get guys on to create pressure. So I think the arms can feel that. They might be throwing some pitches that they think people are going to chase, but we take them just because we're very convicted to our plans. And so I think today was one of those days that the lineup was just very, very convicted to their plan. And it showed by us getting some traction early and getting the starter out early, and then puts pressure on them to have to bring in arms from the bullpen.
That even continued late in the game there where you had on, Mason adds on, those are kind of other examples, right, of just
Yeah.
that foot on the gas.
Yeah, that's always big too, especially with a team like theirs with their lineup. I mean, they have some ridiculously good hitters, and you saw that at the end kind of when they just came storming back, so it's always important.
Ash to agate right there at the end.
Ash Daggett. I like
That's
that.
what he used to say.
I
Boy,
like that
put
a lot.
ash to agate.
I think this show has ruined my ability to listen to any soundbite without hearing just a hint of porta potty guy. Like every.
You think J.J. Weatherholt was the guy
No,
in the porta potty?
I don't. But towards the end there, just kind of his voice, there's like a little bit of a treble or something, and I was like, God, it's ruined. Now it's going to ruin it for me every time I'm talking to the man. Just a hint, not entirely.
Doug, a hint of the porta potty guy.
Hey.
I was actually inside
Oh,
it.
no.
A little bit of room to move around. And I guess the first time nobody came for a while. I was in one of the wrong ones, and then I just switched over to a busy one. And then, I don't know, just some chick came in. And supposedly she saw me or whatever.
And he's laughing it off.
So there's media chuckle, then there's porta potty chuckle. Can I ask you guys? I'm still.
I'm taking questions. Doug's pissed.
I'm still a few seasons behind. How did y'all discover porta potty guy? The fact that this.
I think porta potty guy goes back more than a decade. I could be wrong. Alex, call in.
Alex.
And I believe that ever since we played that audio, there's a theory amongst the audience that this is a guy in St. Louis who calls into our show and sounds just like the gentleman who I think his kink was, so therefore we can't mock it.
I can.
Was to hide out in porta potties and be soiled upon.
What do you think the punishment for that is?
I'll tell you what it was. It was 3 years in prison and 10 years of probation.
How about that? And he still finds a way to call into the show.
3 years in the Gray Bar Hotel.
Prosecutors said at the time he admitted to spying on women in bathrooms in other states and countries over 1,000 times.
So he went overseas.
A man of all continents.
And he admitted to that?
I guess in Discovery, yeah.
1,000 times without getting caught.
Yeah, 1001 he got caught.
Just like an interrogation room with one light bulb swinging back and forth. Hey, pal.
So he could have been in some porta potty that all of us have been in.
I mean, they caught
up to
him
1,000.
red-handed with that one.
What do you know about that county fair, Decatur, Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me.
Listen, pal, you're going away a long time.
The description says the 30-year-old was found to have been hiding inside the waste tank, covered in human waste.
Oh, God.
What happened?
Oh.
Mission accomplished then, right? I mean, you don't go in there not expecting it. That's the mission.
Oh, how did he not get, like, hepatitis?
Jackson?
Who's to say he didn't?
Right.
Back to you, Doug. Just watching this
Tossing
verbal
the old hot
volley.
potato around.
The old verbal volley.
Guys, so Buck Swope's real name is Alex. That's from Big Blonde Dan in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat.
No.
That's so you know Alex.
No, but I know Buck Swope.
To know him is to love him. Dougie wears a green jacket.
Yes, he does. But who is this Alex, and why is he chirping?
I don't know. I kind of like the cut of his jib.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen his jib.
I've never seen anything that he's done, but what are you going to do?
So
I'm a
everything
fan.
we've ever said is living on for eternity now
I
on his
guess.
website?
I guess Alex has cooked it up. Sounds good.
Okay. Better watch what we say, I guess.
You better watch what you say.
Okay.
Chief.
Tim, I wanted to take some time to compliment you on your exemplary radio work yesterday. The way you navigated the day's hot topics of sport, debauchery, and lesbianism was top shelf, all while dripping in sex. It's unreal. Doug,
dripping.
that's from Mr. Nipples. Mr. Nipples.
Why would he say such a thing?
Mr. Nipples, you can call in. You're going to be behind Alex on the Callier and Thompson phone lines, but the number is 314-974-0101. Come on in. The water is warm. The program's called The Morning After. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen as we broadcast here in the Healthcare Evolution 7 o'clock hour. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the presentation. And you are welcome to participate in a wide variety of ways on this show. Now, one of the ways you can participate is go to tmastl.com and vote or nominate yourself to be the TMA Listener of the Month, Jackson. And that's brought to you by
Form Energy.
That's right. And we now have the April 2026 Listener of the Month announcement coming up in about 3 minutes. Oh, it's teasing school.
Okay.
It's teasing
All
school.
right.
Tease, tease, tease. Time spent listening. Tease, tease, tease.
Okay, that's enough.
That's coming up on the program. Plus, Ken Rosenthal. He did a deep dive yesterday on the Cardinals and Chaim Bloom and kind of saying, hey, look at the Red Sox. It's a cluster F. Wilson Contreras in the middle of it over there. Are you aware of that? You guys aware of what went on over
He's
there?
causing issues?
I think it was taken out of context by an aggregator, but that doesn't stop him from having to address it yesterday before their game against the Tigers. That coming up on the program as well. The program broadcast from the Stiefel Studios. It's called The Morning After on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel.
Yeah. 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 Bring it to the loo. I don't know how important that is, really.
Dylan-esque. Well, hard not to feel like it's on the threshold here, about 5.5 months away. Cardinals and Tigers, you think?
Probably not. Scooble got hurt.
Yeah. Oh, was he on the Prime Minister's?
No. Everyone else on the Prime Minister's is hurt, too, but I don't have Scooble. I had 3 guys get hurt on Saturday.
All 3? What happened? They ran into each other?
No, separate incidents. George Springer of Toronto got hit by a pitch like on the toe and broke his big toe like the second day of the season.
Yeah.
Sat out. First day back, he got hit by a pitch on the toe. Now he's out again. I've got the worst fantasy team ever assembled. I can't get a break. Everybody's hurt.
How about that? Does that change your mind?
That helps a little.
And if your fantasy team
George Springer.
sucks, do you feel less likely to critique other squads? Like you don't feel you have the place
Yeah,
You don't have the
kinda.
juice.
Kind of.
because your team's down?
Charlie Marlowe and I are going heads up this week, Martin. Charlie Marlowe AI, I believe. I don't believe he's a real person anymore.
He doesn't even need to come on the show.
Well, I don't care. He's on my fantasy team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe Strauss was a passionate fantasy guy. The program's called The Morning After. It airs on 101 ESPN. Not popular, though, in retirement communities. You are welcome to participate in it. 314-974-0101. That is how you can call in the Callier and Thompson phone lines. You can text in at 314-399-9646. Air Comfort Service text inbox, and you can talk it over and air your grievances in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat where they're talking it over right now. Doug, in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, 202 friends joining with the conversation there. Subscribe to it, and we will be on that YouTube channel until high noon with TMA, and then after the morning after from 11 to 12. Listeners, they want to be the TMA Listener of the Month presented by Form Energy, but only one listener can be. Now, Doug would like them to use their real names, but they get to remain anonymous.
I don't care
And
about
that is invaluable. Jackson sent us the nominees yesterday afternoon. The Papal Conclave met, and the April 2026 winner has been selected. Now, all of us are in the dark. Jackson Burkett has the knowledge, and here is little Jackie Papers with the announcement of the Form Energy April 2026 TMA Listener of the Month.
Our winner for the month of April for the TMA Listener of the Month is Ray King.
Congratulations.
Returned.
Congratulations.
Ray King has done it. Ray King, a long-time listener. Doug, you remember him at Wheelhouse?
Yeah, he has some behavioral issues.
What do you mean?
Sometimes he misbehaves.
Back to you.
And you have to discipline him?
Yeah. Discipline is the thing.
Well, he's a frequent texter and a caller, so I think body of work, that's a pretty active listener right there.
BOW.
And what does he get for this? Just a
Form Energy prize pack, Doug.
Oh, nice.
Okay. We do have I actually didn't think we had anything to give away.
Well, Bub's your uncle.
What?
Say that again.
Bubs, what does that mean? Was that an
Bub's your
FU, but
uncle?
a nice way of saying
just
it?
tell him off. I mean, you might be out of line a little bit.
Each prize pack will get 1 hat, 1 shirt, a pair of sunglasses, a towel, 2 koozies, a fanny pack, and a case of Form
Ray
Energy.
King and a fanny pack, Doug. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's a nice little gift.
I'd say
Ray
so.
King has issued a statement just now upon hearing that he won. He says, "Let's go. My nipples are rock hard."
Yeah.
That is from Ray King, your April 2026 Form Energy TMA Listener of the Month. It was high time. He had been overdue.
I don't know.
I mean, it's really your standard acceptance speech.
My
Let's go.
nipples are hard. I am excited.
He got the wedding vows Was that 2 years ago he got married to that guy that he nuzzles with at the Blues games? Kind of a little heavy guy with a beard. He married him.
That's half of St. Louis, that heavy guy with the beard. Literally half our population.
Dog, don't get me started.
Okay, that's Larry, sorry.
You think half of the St. Louis population, which mathematically would theoretically be ladies, are heavy men with beards?
Well, if not 50%, 40, 45%.
And this was done by the United States Census?
Yeah.
That's a nice hole, Bill.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of beards, a lot of weight.
Guys, what I love about this show is you never know if you're going to get sports, restaurants, or nipple talk. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me to this light. That's from Slinger, like Sunday morning. Or bearded census. Sensei? Sensei? I took Latin. Is it sensei?
I've never heard the word sensei.
Sensei.
Sensei, yeah, sensei, Cobra Kai.
Right. Sensei, I don't believe that would be the case.
No. Censuses?
How many censuses are being taken? Isn't it just one?
Heavy bearded gentlemen in the St. Louis area?
Yeah.
45% of the population?
That's the only information that crossed my desk. Just kind of in a news flash.
Doug, does Ray King have good nipples? I'm trying to get a visual here. If you could help me out. That's from the overprotective Golden Girl dad.
I don't know.
That's a dad. That's a father of a Golden Girl.
Okay.
Well, I think
He's trying to protect her.
what's your definition of good nipples? You know,
Put that off.
I was thinking of Estelle Getty and Rue McClanahan. Okay.
Ooh, wow.
When you said
That's not where I was.
Well, I
like a
understand.
snow cone kind of thing.
Well, no, when you said overprotective Golden Girl dad, I thought, how old would the dad be of
It's
B.
George C. Scott.
Arthur and that crew?
Yeah.
Okay, those are the Golden Girls. All right, my bad.
Right.
I don't think those women were really that old when they did that show.
Isn't that crazy?
They were like in their 50s or something, I think.
I think younger than that, actually.
Or were they playing women in their 70s?
Estelle Getty was playing a woman much older because I believe she might have been the youngest of the entire cast. Maybe the only one that was older was Betty White.
Started in 85. B. Arthur was born in 19 and 22.
Nice.
So she's 63.
She was 63 at the time.
Skewed older.
Rue McClanahan played like a divorcee in Clayton. She was
Blanche
just everywhere.
Devereaux.
Yeah, she was open for business.
Rue was 12 years younger, so she was
50s.
in her 50s.
But Randy is all get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Betty White also born in 22.
19 and 22.
So
Doug.
at least two of them were in their 60s.
Yeah. And then Estelle Getty was born 23.
How about that?
Okay.
So she was
Guess they were a
older.
little older. Yeah.
What a great run. But anyway, the overprotective Golden Girl dad is a Mizzou reference. For a minute, my mind went to B. Arthur, the great B. Arthur. But that's not what we're talking about.
John Chayka's a fraud.
Who is?
The new Maple Leafs?
The new Maple Leafs is not going well
That's
in
from the
Toronto.
recovering alcohol.
It's not going well.
Doug Jackson has the audio. They're not happy in our Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, in our Air Comfort Service text inbox, or in the media in Toronto. Take a listen.
Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun, for Keith. You talk about the due diligence that you did on John prior to hiring him and now hiring him. In the past, say, 3 to 4 days, I have been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman.
Yikes.
How did you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
That's it? Because I'm telling you, the hockey world today is astounded by this announcement.
Okay.
And your response to that?
Is we've conducted due diligence, and it was deep due diligence. It was a thorough process, and I'm quite happy with where we've landed.
Okay.
People are astounded.
Feet to
What was
the
it?
fire.
Frauds.
Con artist.
Con artist.
Well, I saw
That's
that.
it. I like the that's it.
That's it.
Not good enough.
He's only 36. He was the GM of the Arizona Coyotes for a while, so he has some experience.
And he got suspended by the NHL. There's a little bit of stuff on his resume that's not real positive. And that Biz Nasty, who I don't know if he was on Arizona's team when this came, probably not, but he just said, that's it, I'm done. I'm done with the Maple Leafs.
How about this? Chayka and his wife owned 50 Wendy's.
I did see that.
And 5 Tim Hortons.
What's your favorite dish at Wendy's, bro?
I like the baked potato.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll go through the drive-thru and get a baked potato?
I haven't been to Wendy's in 20 years, but if you press me on it, I guess it'd be the baked potato.
Spicy nuggets.
Spicy chicken sandwich, if you please. And I enjoy their fries, boy.
Not bad.
Doesn't sound like you're a fan.
Well, they're not. Nothing
kinda
to write home about.
Wedge-ish?
No, they're kind of
meat and potatoes fries.
Yeah, real rank and file.
While Chayka was with the Coyotes, he hosted a private scouting combine for draft prospects, strictly forbidden by the NHL. The Coyotes were forced to forfeit a second-round pick and a first-round draft pick.
The soft St. Louis media would never do that.
No.
Bravo to that reporter.
It's from the 314.
Probably the same reporter who asked Craig Berube if they were in panic after losing a second preseason game.
No, that was a female. It was not Steve Simmons. But this John Chayka, who's now the boss, there's all these layers in the Maple Leafs. And a lot of people say that is the problem. It's almost like this bureaucracy. So the guy, Kevin, I forget, he's like the president, CEO, and then he hires the GM. And the GM said all these good things about Berube, but said he hasn't made up his mind yet. I'm sure Chief's like, I'm good.
He's ready to move on.
He probably said, who's this guy? I'm sure he's...
You think he'll coach again after what strikes me as inevitable?
They all do. I feel like he's done in Toronto, but they all resurface somewhere. Yes, I do. He's only 60. So? I do. Maybe not for a year or two, but I think he will.
To come back here and hang out. Not to coach, but to hang out.
Just to hang out, like at the Hive.
Yeah, the Hive. Dirty wings, Doug. Get the dirty wings. They take a little while, but they're worth it. Oh, the spices is nice.
Too spicy? I don't like too hot and spicy.
All right, no, I think they're just right.
Okay.
Next season, Doug's at the Hive just watching some guy yells, he's offside. Oh, it's Chief. Just watching the games.
He says he is open to bringing him back. So
that didn't sound real encouraging.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's getting off to a really bad start.
So the Maple Leafs could have taken a
much.
run at Doug Armstrong, but instead they got the guy that Steve Simmons says 19 out of 20. What do they call him? Scam artist, fraud. This guy's a fraud.
Must be a good talker to get the jobs and to own the 50 Wendy's.
Well, you got to read the free report. This guy.
Sharon and Clayton is Rue McClanahan. Full stop. That's from Big Blonde Dan in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat.
I don't believe that is the case. I believe Rue passed on.
Yeah.
I think all the Golden Girls are no longer with us.
Yeah, I think they're all gone.
But the overprotective dad is.
That's correct. He is still with us, making him about 110, but it's great to have him listening to the program. You can listen to the program in a wide variety of ways. Of course, live on 101 ESPN, live on the TMA STL YouTube channel, but you can always go back and podcast it on the TMA STL YouTube channel or the TMA STL app. Our podcast brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. That's Jason Gosrow and Schaefer Door Company. Online at SCHAEFER door.com. Jason Gosrow, longtime TMA listener and longtime TMA sponsor. Jason Gosrow and Schaefer Door work with LiftMaster. If you have any garage door issues, both residential and commercial, just go to SchaeferDoor.com and work with Jason and his team of technicians at SchaeferDoor.com. That's Schaefer Door, a LiftMaster partner, SchaeferDoor.com. It is 7:37 in St. Louis. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. The Cardinals with the win last night. The Cubs came back to win, so they are not picking up games on Chicago, but the Cubs beat the Reds, so they pick up a game on Cincinnati, Doug. And with the Padres losing to the Giants, the Cardinals now would have home field advantage in that best-of-3 series.
Right, okay.
4 versus 5. Cardinals, the 4 seed, Padres, the 5 seed. So keep an eye on that.
I don't think it's too early to start looking at that.
The Claves line about Flag Day.
Flag Day!
June 14th, where you'd always say, check back around Flag Day. I think this year's team, that's a really good benchmark because that's about a month and a half from right now, a little less than that. I do think people watching are saying, hey, this team's kind of fun. You're starting to hear it more nationally. But when locally do you say, hey, okay, this is sustainable?
I want to get into that conversation, actually, Martin. You just got better at teasing. This teasing camp that we went to this weekend.
Working.
What do I have to say? Teasing.
Teasins. Time spent listenings. Teasins. The team last year, which I don't know how many people are even aware of this because I don't feel like people were paying attention, did get to, was it 9 games over 500 in late May, like May 20-something? The hell, I don't know.
I think they've had a couple of these where they've been good in May and then just dropped
fall off. But I don't know, and I don't know what your guys' experience has been, but I have had so many people, whether it be email, DM, just buddies, just people in group texts, talk about how I haven't watched this many Cardinal games in the entire years over the last few years, and I've already watched, a bunch of them. And again, this team is off to an incredible start, but last year's team did get up, I think, 8, 9 games above 500 in May, and there wasn't the same feeling. So I want to get into the why on that conversation, and plus we'll have what Ken Rosenthal had to say about it, because one of the things he talked about in his podcast yesterday morning is Chaim Bloom, the mess that is in Boston right now, Wilson Contreras in the center of it, and how Bloom, in the end, looks like the guy they should have kept versus the mess that they have in their front office. And also they've, of course, parted ways with Alex Cora, their manager. So that conversation coming up next. We welcome you. And let me set the table with the listeners. Here is my question for you to text in or call in. 314-399-9646. 314-974-0101 is how you can call in. And then, of course, you got the YouTube chat where you can express this. Why is this different for you if you find yourself watching more games, being more emotionally invested than, say, last year, if that is the case for you? Or is it not the case? And if so, why? I look forward to hearing the answers. I would imagine the name John Mozeliak will be mentioned many a time, but I don't think that is the sole reason for many people. So we will find out what they have to say. We'll discuss it as well. That's coming up next here on The Morning After, presented to you by Brown & Crouppen. It's the Healthcare Evolution, 7 o'clock hour on 101 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jackson with a Sports Center update. That's brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. The Cardinals pick up yet another win. Pick up their first win against the Brewers for this series. Back in action tonight at 6:45 p.m. against the Brewers. Andre Puente on the mound for the Redbirds. That was our Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
NBC on Saturday nights? Is that what it was?
I don't remember. That's not when you want to be on, is Saturday night.
I know. That's why it kind of surprises me, but that's my memory.
Maybe the demo was a sweet spot.
No. I was usually just hanging out at the St. Gabriel Gymnasium on Saturday nights.
Is this as you were a student or an adult?
Both of them.
Oh.
Nothing weird about that.
I got a text yesterday from the John Wooden of grade school basketball, Doug. You know who that is?
That was me, the Wizard of Crestwood.
Oh, yeah. I saw you and Josh Schertz talking about that last week down at that Billiken fan event.
Right.
All due respect to you, I've read on message boards you're more the Frank Haith, but this, of course, is Cal Kennedy, and he said, I'm sitting in the dentist chair as he pokes around in my teeth, and the dentist says, you got to be the Cal Kennedy that they talk about on that show.
Oh, no.
Yep, we've infected the medical community.
Did the dentist then punish him?
No Novocaine for you.
Get involved on the program. The program is called The Morning After. It is presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the show from the Stiefel Studios. Jackson Burkett is here. And Jackson, the Sports Center update caught you off guard.
I was working on some stuff away from the studio and heard what would be a promo, meaning that better get back in there, fella.
Yeah.
And so
that was the inner monologue.
Yeah, if I hear commercials, I know we're in the midst of a break, and if I hear promos, time to get back.
All right. So we break. I throw to a break. A promo plays, commercials, and then a promo.
Yeah. If you can follow the pattern, you can kind of know when's coming back.
Glad I figured that out after 4 years.
Yeah. It took me a while, too.
We heard that Sports Center music, and I looked over, it was just an empty mic, and I thought about going, in the NBA last night.
Yeah, Wemby.
No, I get it.
And you didn't run in, but you had a brisk pace. Did you lose breath just a little bit?
I ran down the hallway.
Okay.
Oh, you did?
Never run.
You got to be
mic.
careful around corners here. You almost have to yell corner.
That is true.
Like we're at
do you yell corner like at a restaurant?
Like we're in the Bear cousin. And you ever watch The Bear?
No.
I think you would like it.
Okay.
Doug, have you watched it?
No, I haven't.
I think you'd like it. I think you boys would like it.
Would I?
But we have a hallway that's kind of like Willy Wonka. It just gets more and more narrow the further you walk down.
It's a hot corner.
Yeah, you're right about
It's
that.
a little weird.
It's a real hot corner. So once I see I'm clear
I swing
there.
out wide. That's my move. I swing out wide.
Yeah, I like to
And
tap.
plus, I'm so tiny, you can run over. You can run me over and not even know you did it.
I tap corners. Like I'll tap the wall leading up to it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what that senator did in the Minnesota restroom?
He tapped with his foot, and that was more of a come hither.
He had a wide base.
Mine is
more of a lookout.
Mine's more of a deterrent. And so, in fact, it's kind of the opposite. But I did haul ass, as they say, down the hallway.
Scores, he said, geez, Papers, wake up.
How'd that feel?
I'm up.
Kind of rough? Okay.
Also, in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, where 268 friends have gathered to watch the program and talk it over, Larry Nickel has issued a statement. Chairman Kurt is not in the studio at the moment. Chairman Kurt is now in the studio. And
Everybody just running down the hall.
He's got the Mazalok tribute cardigan on, I see. Look at that, Martin. He's got it tied around the neck.
Oh, very preppy.
Yes, indeed.
It's a good look.
Larry Nickel, Chairman Kurt, just said in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, for anyone who wants me to call in, I cannot due to prior commitments.
What else has he got going on?
He texted me that yesterday.
What's he got going on?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Okay.
He said he had some, but had prior commitments.
Okay.
I can respect that.
Yeah, sure.
And so I said, all good.
Just wondering what could possibly be more important than this.
But his team put out a statement?
That was his
He texted
team.
me. And I was frustrated that I didn't respond promptly.
Oh, no way. Yeah. What, was there a follow-up?
I was like doing something yesterday and I didn't really respond. And he texted me like literally as you were reading that. I guess you didn't see my text yesterday. Sorry, Lars.
Doug, I set the table with a tease for the ages. Hopefully it gets me a Marconi. Posing this question, and a listener was kind enough to send in this information that was very difficult to find, what the Cardinal record was last year in May. Mm-hmm. And this gentleman by the name of Ryan Judd. You know Ryan?
I don't know.
Says the Cardinals were 33-24 heading into the month of June. Okay. Point being, 9 games over 500. In the same range of where they find themselves now. But I will speak for myself. I sense this is also something many of you in the audience and perhaps here in the Stiefel Studios feel. It feels different. It feels different around the St. Louis area, and it feels different watching the team. And so my question to you guys and to our audience to call in or text in or talk over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat is, why does it feel different if it does? I don't want to put words in your mouth. So, Doug, I'll start with you.
Oh, I think it definitely feels different. I think the big reason for me, anyway, is to see Jordan Walker get it figured out and become a star. We've been waiting on that for 3 years, and now it's here. I think between Walker and Weatherholt, 2 young players that really give you hope for the future. And for me, it's just watching a couple of guys that I think are going to be stars. Hopefully they're going to be stars.
Yeah. Makes sense. That makes sense. I think you got that with, you mentioned Walker and Weatherholt, certainly. I think Riley O'Brien was around last year, but I feel like there's a sense of certainty when he comes in. That was what is that, a 2-pitch save or something like that?
He had 3 pitches. Probably unavailable today, Doug.
No, yeah, he needs some time.
It did suck that they had to go to him last night, now that we're getting spoiled, or I'm getting spoiled. But, and then on the pitching side, I don't think you necessarily feel like you got a force, but I think that McGreevy clearly has endeared himself to this audience and is pitched pretty damn well in a more Maddox style of precision with pitching than overpowering with swing and miss stuff, but it's certainly been effective. I do think probably for some they'll go, well, Mozeliak's not here. But then at the same time, if you're talking about young players, these young players didn't just appear in spring training. They were in the pipeline. So then that gets into the awkward conversation for some going, okay, well, you got to give John Mozeliak credit because he was a part of the group that brought these guys in. Martin, how do you see it?
I think Weatherholt being here, a young guy that you can get excited about his future, Walker taking off, just kind of having a core that's established. Wynn and Burleson have been here, but you kind of know the team now, and they're all kind of doing their part. I just think it seems more sustainable than having an Arenado who last year you knew you tried to trade him. You didn't really want him around, but you kind of got to pencil him in. I just think the way it was laid out, people were like, all right, I think the bar was lowered so much too going into this.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to probably take our lumps, but we're committed to the long term. And then, hey, they're actually pretty decent. And maybe that's helped this team a little bit too. Such low expectations. They talked about the Blues playing with house money the last, month and a half of the season. Mm-hmm. I know every player thinks they're going to win every game, but maybe a little bit at lower expectations. I just think it's this Weatherholt Walker idea that young guys that maybe we're finally going to have somebody who, from our roster that we drafted. I mean, look at that lineup last night. Every single player was homegrown. That's starting lineup.
Love that. Mm.
That's got to be unheard of in the big leagues. No free agent, no trades, all homegrown products.
I think one of the things I've seen, this right here is an example of some of the other texts that we've gotten, and you're welcome to give your thoughts at 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text inbox. This is from Jackson's Hockey Council. It's different for me because 40% of the games don't have Michaelis or Fetty trotting out there every night. That was energy zapping watching the games. That's from Jackson's Hockey Council. And I would expand that to some of the position players as well, who were on, for lack of a better term, scholarship. You knew they were going to be in there. They were playing the contract, and I don't think that there was a whole lot of energy or enthusiasm for the operation. And I think part of this, and the reason why I'm asking the fan base here on the morning after and also on the show amongst us is they were 33-24 last year. But it wasn't like something that had gotten people really going. Whereas this team comparable over games over 500. But it strikes me as there is a buzz about them. And we're going to have these Ken Rosenthal clips from his podcast where clearly the buzz is going beyond St. Louis. And I think for me, one of the big things is they have committed to a strategy, whereas before, and I don't think it was just 25 and 24 and 23, I think it started in 2016 where they kind of tried to play both sides of it. And that is not how you win. It's not how you win with sports, and it's not how you win in business. You got to pick a lane and realize sometimes you're going to take steps back, but you keep your eyes on the prize in the long term. And so for me, watching guys out there who I don't think were really all that enthused about being here, but at the same time, it's close to Nashville. I'm going to be able to play here. They couldn't trade me, whatever it was. Or I'm just trying to get to my pension, whatever the thing was, that was a wet blanket from a viewing experience. And that wasn't just a handful of guys. That was a decent amount of representation on the roster. It's all gone now. It's all gone. And that, for me, is refreshing to watch. And then also, even if the team wasn't winning games and they were sitting here and let's say they were, 14 and 22 or something like that, I'd be like, well, it's fine because there is a plan as opposed to for most of the last decade. I felt like it was okay. Well, let's just see if we can get in, and then you never know what happens because that's how we won in 2006 and 2011. And when we really went all after it, we lost in the postseason. So that is where I am coming from. Where are you coming from? The 217 Fats writes, I've yet to miss a game this year. I could count on both hands how many games I watched last year. This team just feels so exciting to watch. Even the losses tend to keep you entertained. Doug, that's from the 217 Fats. Shrimply Pibbles, who sends in pictures of his wife, but in this case just sends in a text and says, a mix of messaging and energy. We know the intentions of the organization, and we can get behind the positives because we know the goal. I've watched more baseball this year than the last 2 years combined. And by the way, my wifey is into JJ. That's from Shrimply Pibbles.
Come on. We didn't need that last part.
God, I hate agreeing with you in any form.
Oh. Well, I think one of the keys, it's pretty obvious, but one of the keys 35 games in is that they've been able to stay healthy. And they're going to have to stay healthy because I don't think they've got much to replace Weatherholt, Walker, Wynn, McGreevy. They're not terribly deep, but if they can keep these guys on the field for most of the season, I think they got a shot. But just like any other team, you lose your key players for significant periods of time, it's hard to keep up.
I agree with the Fetty, Michaelis starts. Those were so deflating, and that's, two-fifths of the rotation. And you also know they're not part of your future. So what really is the point? And I just think there was kind of that mismatching parts. Fetty's just kind of here, then they add Mats, and Michaelis is still here, and Arenado doesn't want to be here. You just the pieces didn't fit. Whereas this year, everybody does seem to have a role, and I think if some of the veterans don't want to be there, that can kind of get into the room, and it's better if everybody just kind of clears it out. And Alec Burleson, who's a young guy but who's now been here for 5 years, can kind of have a bigger voice. He doesn't have to sit in the corner and not say a word because he doesn't have the years in. It's just kind of an understood thing in baseball. And it sounds stupid to people who have normal lives, but in that culture, if there's older guys in the room that've got more years than you do, even if they're sour or not leading, you just kind of sit in your spot and don't say a word. And I think that's changed.
I agree. I agree with that, and I'm glad you said that. I really think that there is some value to it. It's almost like one of the reasons why so far, and again, would you buy up stock in the Cardinals' outcome for 2026 at this moment, and let's say that they're a playoff team? I don't know how many people would really do that. Like if you weren't in the midst of this run that has produced, 7 of 8 wins, and don't get me wrong, against some quality opposition, as crazy as it is, the Pirates would fall into that category. Certainly the Dodgers and the Brewers tend to be perennial, even though they don't necessarily do a whole lot in the postseason, is they don't know what they don't know. And so they're just playing their game. But oftentimes you'll hear, I know I've heard Walker talk about this, I've heard McGreevy talk about this. I was with these guys in the minor leagues. I know they're good ball players, but they don't know that, quote, they're not supposed to be doing this. From the Hoosier Trojan Horse, per your request, Tim, 3 theories on the Cardinals this year and fans' engagement. Number 1, I actually think the management intentionally undersold the team's potential versus oversold as in years past. This lowered expectations. They were in a no-lose situation. Come out of the gate struggling, and it's exactly what we were sold. Start hot and gain some surprised eyeballs. Number 2, most of the fan base wanted the Cardinals to choose one direction or another, tear it down or buy a winner. We knew the latter would never happen, but past management always tried to add enough mid-level free agent talent to say we competed. That grew old. And number 3, most of this roster is trying to find success in the league and playing for that life-changing contract, no content veteran presence to temper the youthful energy. That's from the Hoosier Trojan Horse. Love part 3. Think about it. Think about yourself and your career, whether you're starting out like little Jackie Papers or you've got it made in the shade like Doug Vaughn. Take your pick. If anybody
fabulously wealthy,
that was implied.
Say it.
Yeah, I mean it was implied. If you haven't gotten there yet, and you play this game, where if you put together a hell of a year or 2, you can change your family's situation for not perhaps just yourself, but perhaps your children and their grandchildren. You can have generational wealth. That is the power of being in the spot that many of them are in. And so you're fighting for it. And I think that there is a lot to be said for that. Just like anybody else in their career, perhaps not with the upside of a 9-figure contract, but certainly if you're driving for a promotion and you want to be able to take care of your family, you want certain things in life, that's where they are. They don't have the guaranteed money that many of the guys on the last few years had and were, in the on the back nine of their careers. There's some real value to that. Now, you have to have the talent. You can't just have that independently, but you have to have the talent, and that talent is there. But I think, Doug, going back specifically, if you want to go on the field, the fact that Jordan Walker has gotten this going, I mean, holy crap, what a windfall that's been.
And that's the one I really want to know, what's changed, because there have, the coaching staff largely is the same at this level. But what unlocked things for him? He has mentioned this Casey a few times, Casey Chenoweth, who's a newer coach that they brought in. But that's the one to me. How did we have a guy? And maybe it was just, Amsinger said to me, because I know last year there was a moment where they had kind of a come to Jesus, where he went to them. This is what Amsinger said, is that Walker went to the coaches and kind of sat down and said, all right, what are we going to do? Like, I think the insinuation was that they just weren't on the same page, that he had ideas, they had ideas. And what he was stating, that his understanding is there was a moment when Walker went in and said, okay, let's all get on, let's all do it the same way. That was a turning point. Mm-hmm. But I would love to hear from Walker. And I get it. He's tired of it being dissected. I would love to hear from him what has changed. Because even last night, a hit, a walk, just being productive, being a good hitter without, doesn't have to be a homer every night. But him getting, because we talked about who's going to hit cleanup. And Urias is hitting cleanup, granted, only a couple times, but they had nobody to hit cleanup until he got going. And that changes that whole lineup.
I think the main thing he's doing different is he's laying off that slider low and away. That gets so many right-handed hitters, looks like a fastball, and they swing at it, and now it's a foot outside. I think perhaps he's recognizing that pitch a little bit better. That's just part of it, but that might be a big part of it.
I do like the topic of what's going on in Boston, because Chaim Bloom was there only a short period of time, and it was confusing because you trade Mookie Betts. Like, what are you doing? Other than ownership saying, we're not going to re-sign him. Then you say, all right, well, if you're not going to re-sign him, I guess I need to trade him. And then they start spending money again with Trevor Story. Red Sox clearly they didn't pick a lane. And now they've got more drama there. And I think if you're watching what Chaim Bloom does, it's early here. He's got this honeymoon. He's not Mo, so everything's a win. He's good at messaging. That helps. But if you start looking at Boston, you're like, God, maybe he didn't do anything wrong over there. Maybe they're just a disaster.
You're not a big podcast guy. Did you happen to listen to the Rosenthal?
I have not heard that.
It's funny that you're saying that, because that's literally what he said. He started off his conversation. It's about a 10-minute segment on his podcast yesterday, and he started it off by talking about the Red Sox situation. and then got into Heim Bloom. And one of the questions that I know you've been, asking just kind of aloud here, because we're obviously not going to get the answer. Heim Bloom's not going to throw the Boston ownership under the bus. That's the quickest way to never have a job in baseball again, is what really happened with Mookie Betts. And Rosenthal, just out of hand, goes, that wasn't Heim Bloom. That was the ownership, but he gets stuck with that. Rosenthal then goes to point out, now, he did have a variety of moves that did not work out, Story being one of them. But on the other hand, he had a number of moves that at the time may not have been particularly popular, but have worked out. Christian Vasquez, I mean, this is in Boston. This is, like us talking about Nathan Church here. They don't know, these guys around in other parts. But they traded Christian Vasquez and got Wilyer Abreu. And, at the time, that was a big deal. Popular guy in Boston. Bloom made the move, and now I think it kind of goes without saying that was a trade that he won. But at the same time, there were some moves that didn't work out. But as it turned out, and I wasn't aware of this, I don't know if you guys had heard this, that there was a bit of a power struggle between Alex Cora and Heim Bloom, and ownership sided with Alex Cora. Cora was, part of what was a really, really good team, a bit of a one-off, that 2018 Red Sox team. Not dynastic, but nonetheless a great team in that year. And then, to their surprise, in 2021, when they were kind of going, not as aggressively with the rebuild as the Cardinals were, but nonetheless pulling it back, they found themselves in the playoffs and surprisingly got into the ALCS. And so then they started to kind of try to play both sides. Let's rebuild, but then let's also go for it. And then Bloom was in the middle of that, which then led to Rosenthal's observations regarding not only Bloom, but the Cardinals' potential situation, which is something we've discussed a little bit. What if the Cardinals find themselves in the mix? How will they conduct business as the season goes on? Specifically, whether it be the bullpen or needing to add another arm in the rotation. We'll have that for you coming up in the next segment. The program is called The Morning After. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel.
Great selection of vehicles online at AutoLoanPro.com. When you're shopping for that car, don't worry about any situation. Doesn't matter what's on the credit report. They work hard to get your credit back on track and to get you into that new vehicle. Pick it out online, AutoLoanPro.com. What they do is shop around with 50 different lenders. That's how they get you the best rate. Little to no money down. That's what you can count on when financing with a pro like AutoLoanPro.com. They are part of the Lita family. On that website, not just the vehicles that are available, but also that free playbook. How to understand the credit industry, how to improve it next time around. Maybe get a different car. You're learning about the industry and also getting a new car. Little to no money down. Great options online. Robert Thomas on that site. The free playbook, it's all right there. It doesn't matter the circumstance. They will get you into that new vehicle. Little to no money down. AutoLoanPro.com is where you can begin shopping today.
boy. Hey, young Red.
Was this at Powell Symphony Hall they did this?
I doubt it, seriously.
When was the last time you went to Palace Symphony Hall?
A couple years ago. I've been a few times.
Yeah.
Have you never been?
I went once for a school field trip, and the chairs were really comfortable, and I remember falling asleep.
Kind of velvet, red velvet. I think they're doing a big redo right now.
Tim, is that where you went when you saw Home Alone with the actual orchestra, or is that the Fox?
Wow, nice question. I think that was. I don't know. I'm going to text
your wife.
Find out. Yeah. You guys had any other questions for my wife? Like, why was Doug hanging out with her at the Cardinal game Sunday?
He's just at the concession stand, that's all.
She and Doug going tonight?
Yeah, exactly. You guys going?
Well, I don't know. I've got tickets, but it looks like it's going to rain.
It's looked like it's going to rain for the last couple games, and it just turns out to be the most beautiful days of all time.
Yeah, that is true.
But they're saying like 100% chance to.
Yeah. And then the Busman special tomorrow, rainy and 59 degrees.
Yeah.
But after that, beautiful weather.
All right.
It always is sunny on the Dotem, minus the one day he said it wouldn't rain, and there was a hurricane that came through with the Midwest.
Oh, yeah. That's when we lost all our pizza, right?
That's correct, yeah, and the pizza theft. Program's called TMA. It's presented to you by Brown Crouppen. We are in our Fisher Window and Door Store, 8 o'clock hour here. On the Polos Plus dossier, coming up at 9:45, we'll have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. You can send yours in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air Heating and Cooling online at DesignAirService.com. And you can sign up for their service plan right now. And once you do that, now you know they're coming out. When the weather warms up, they're going to make sure the air conditioning's firing on all cylinders. When the weather cools down, you don't even have to think about it. They will contact you and say, hey, we'll be out to tune up your furnace. What works for you will be there. Perfect. Design Air Heating and Cooling. Where Martin's a client, Doug's a client, and I'm a client. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online with DesignAirService.com. That's Seth Goldcamp, 4th generation Design Air Heating and Cooling. No upselling. You can count on them at Design Air Heating and Cooling. So I deep teased this Ken Rosenthal podcast where he spent a lot of time on the Cardinals and what is going on, and specifically Chaim Bloom and the direction of the franchise. So let's start there with Ken Rosenthal talking about the direction of the franchise and expecting them to be back in a major way, maybe not now, but with the roadmap that they are following. Ken Rosenthal on his podcast.
Look at what is going on now in St. Louis with, again, a clear mandate. This team is going back to its roots, trying to build through young players. And they've assembled some young players. They've had some that Chaim Bloom inherited from the previous John Mozeliak regime, and suddenly some good things are happening. We've seen the Jordan Walker emergence. We've seen J.J. Weatherholt, top 10 pick, who has been an absolute star for the Cardinals. And we're seeing them play a brand of baseball that, while not yet attracting fans back to the ballpark, the Cardinals fans are pretty mad at ownership for the last couple of years, and understandably so. But in time, I expect that Cardinal baseball is going to be back and back in a big way.
So he believes it is the mandate being clear from ownership that has helped Bloom, because leading up to that, he was saying that he got mixed messages from ownership in Boston. And part of that was because they had a surprising run to the American League Championship Series in 2021. And so then it became, all right, let's not go on with the full rebuild. Let's start to try to go for it. The Story signing and the problems that followed. So then that gets us into the conversation of how would Bloom and the Cardinals handle it if the team is right near the top of the division, as they are right now, battling with the Chicago Cubs, for example. Fans are coming back to the ballpark. It's the talk of the town, like it was for so many of the first 25 years of this century. How would the Cardinals handle that? Here is what he had to say regarding that.
Now, you might ask, okay, what happens here if the Cardinals are in position at the deadline to maybe contend? Do they go forward? Do they make the same mistake the Red Sox did under Bloom and sort of abandon the plan, or at least shift the plan? I would expect if they're in it, they're going to be reactive to that, and they'll make moves, modest moves perhaps, but they're not going to disrupt what they've done. If there's one lesson Bloom learned, it's to stay the course. He's going to stay the course. They're going to commit and stay committed to their young talent. It's simply a case of knowing who you are as an organization, knowing where you are, and knowing how you want to go forward.
Hashtag it.
Once again. What do you think of that, Doug?
Well, yeah, it's great when it works, and this year it's certainly working. But you look at a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, they've been trying to take this path for years, and it hadn't worked at all. Now, this year it looks like they got a decent team, but everybody else in the Central Division is pretty good too. But they've been trying to build with young players, with O'Neill Cruz and Nick Gonzalez and Henry Davis and Joey Bart and Paul Skeens. They've had some really high draft picks and still can't put it together or hadn't been able to. So it's not guaranteed that when you turn it over, you're going to be good, but the Cardinals have sure found a way to do it this year.
What do you think they would do, Martin, if they're sitting there in July?
I think they would make a minor move here or there. I don't think they would do anything. I think they'd be willing to add a piece, like a bullpen piece, but I don't think they would trade anything of too big a value. I mean, I think they're largely staying the course, which is long-term, but it'd be hard to look at a fan base that's just dying for some winning and not give them anything. I don't think they would do the opposite and just start selling, like, hey, we're 12 games over. Yep, we're shipping out Riley O'Brien. Yep, we're going to package JoJo Romero. I don't think they would do that.
Well, if there's something like 4 back, like let's say they're 4 back, Dustin May's had a good stretch, Riley O'Brien's continue to be good. Do you think that those guys would be possibly on the table?
Depends on what you get in return, of course.
For sure. But I'm asking, like, if you're in striking distance, but certainly not at the top.
Because I think it's a great question. Because those guys would be great commodities. For the record, May making $12 million this year, easily one of the highest paid guys on the team, and I'm pretty sure he is the highest paid guy on the team, unless I'm missing an obvious one.
He's number one,
and has a $20 million mutual option for the following season. He was let's buy low, and by low I mean not commit to a multiple-year deal with him. He can get a chance to see if he's got an opportunity to get a big deal after 1 year. And I think he also enjoyed being in the middle of the country for flight purposes, if memory serves. So all of those things factoring into the conversation. And then you sit there and you got a fan base that has had a fractured relationship with the organization, and you're in the mix for, let's say, both a Central and a wild card spot. And by the way, being in the mix for a wild card spot is not an accomplishment. The accomplishment is actually not being in the mix for a wild card spot, because you'll roll around August and you'll go, well, everybody's still in the mix for a wild card spot within 5 games, unless you take your pick of whatever awful teams in each league. That's the way that it works. But if they were to part ways with those 2 guys, let's say, which would make sense, by the way. I mean, O'Brien isn't 21, he's 31. Do you sit there and risk that build up with the franchise and the fan base? And I wonder about that. Now, the reality is it's all hypothetical, and we'll have much more information in 75 days. But it could be a conversation that they have to have. Because if you have a fan base coming back and getting on board, and then you go, okay, well, we got to stick to the plan here and we got to part ways, that could alienate some people.
I think the optimal situation is that you're able to start bringing up some of your other arms that are ready to help and contribute. And so if you think you could get something decent in return from Riley O'Brien, but all of a sudden, let's say a Quinn Matthews is in your pen, or like all of a sudden you can bring up guys that play vital roles, and you can ship out some of the established pieces. I don't think anybody would, if you could get something decent on Dustin May, I don't think people would be crying over that, because you'd say, hey, we've got some starters that are knocking on the door. We could even bring them up now. I don't think they know the answer right now. If you say, what would you do? They don't know, because they weren't expecting this. And it's fun to talk about, and in 2 months they could be buried. It's kind of our conversation earlier. We forget last year. It was the end of June, and they're 8 games over. I don't remember it that way.
End of June.
End of June. They
were
were
33-24 is what
they were in 47-39 after losing on June 30th. So they're 8 games over at the end of June, and then they went belly up in July.
Yeah.
8-16. So we'll see, right? And that's why they're not going to. They probably don't even have to think about it until they do. But I think, yeah, they'd be willing. I mean, I think Chaim Bloom will look everybody in the face and say, listen, we're not going to do anything stupid here. It's kind of what we had in mind, I'm sure, is to just continue to add talent at the minor league level. But I don't think you could also kind of crap on the fans who are just, you'd have to, and we hate this whole pick a lane, and when they don't pick a lane, but you could probably do a move or two that helps you in the short term, that doesn't jeopardize anything long term.
Yeah, like a bullpen arm.
Yeah, I think something like that, something simple.
Doug, good news. The voice of the fan, as you know, historically on this show has always been Natty Nate.
Oh.
And Natty Nate is on the Collier and Thompson
fabulous.
phone lines here on 101 ESPN. Natty Nate, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Oh, we're fine, Natty. Where have you been? We haven't heard from you in a while.
I know. The last time I called, I was on the hold for an hour and 8 minutes, and I did not get on.
An hour and 8 minutes? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
that's tough. That's tough.
We apologize. That's Kurt's fault. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, what's on your mind today?
But anyway, I just want to say, well, I told you guys, I told you so. I told you guys that this team would be awesome. And they have been awesome so far. I told you.
Did you tell us that when you were on hold?
Get rid of Mosaic. No, I was telling you years and years ago, get rid of Mosaic, and this team will take off.
Okay.
And what are they doing? They are taking off right now. They are just awesome to watch.
So you were a big fan of John Mozeliak?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, gosh. What's your language?
Hot takes.
All right. So you like the direction the team is headed?
Absolutely. 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 And I just seen, I want to get your thoughts. I just seen this on Facebook. Would you give J.J. Weatherholt an 8-year, $135 million contract? Yes or no?
Doug, you got to decide, right?
I'd say not yet. No, I wouldn't do it yet.
I think I
would
would.
not do it
I
yet?
would.
What's that come out to a year?
16.8.
And if it goes bust, they can swallow it.
The only issue I have with this team is the bullpen. I think we need to shore up the bullpen at the trade deadline.
Okay.
Why? But other than that,
What have you been up to, Natty Nate? What keeps you busy? Watching the games?
watching the games, I had to get Cardinals.tv, and so that was $100 out of my pocket. And I got MLB.tv so I can watch all the other games.
Oh, good.
So, but yeah, I am just absolutely giddy up about this team right now.
Fabulous. Well, they got a friend in you. Have you been to any games yet this year?
I have not.
No. Well, we got to get you.
I have not.
Okay.
I want to go. I want to go to the ballpark. I want to go to Bitmatland.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All you can eat.
Are you eyeing that buffet, buddy?
Yeah. What would you eat, Natty Nate?
Everything.
Oh. But you're not a big man.
No, I'm not a bit man, but I can put down some food.
Okay. That's the right place for me then.
I'd like to go to the game with Natty Nate.
I have a high metabolism.
Right. Okay. What that?
Okay.
Natty Nate and the Plowhawk, Doug.
Both capitalists.
Amen. Amen.
Well, Natty Nate, we apologize. You were on hold for an hour and 8 minutes. I don't think that's the record around here, but that's pretty close.
Well, I just thought maybe you guys were mad at me.
No.
And
Doug's a little pissed off at you.
No, we're big fans.
And I think it's because you called in and you gave him some hell that Camo we didn't break into programming for the Nolan Arenado press conference.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgotten that.
Yeah, well, I'll get over it.
I did, in fact.
You are over it?
Yes, I am over it. But it was still quite a scolding.
Well, I mean, he should have been on. He should have been on that day.
Well, I think it was a day off.
So, anything else you want?
Did you enter a TMA?
Countries or anything?
Did you enter?
Maybe in this town soft.
Did you enter a TMA wing eating contest at one point? Somebody asked.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and I got smoked.
Oh no! Did you run into Gareth, Jackson's partner from Movie Boy? That guy can eat some wings.
Wasn't that when you guys had some pro in there?
Yeah, there's a professional.
Who was
there.
a little banty.
Yeah, I could only eat like maybe 2.
Well, that's the Hunchback of Von Castle said. Didn't Natty Nate do a TMA wing contest? And only ate 4.
It was like a ringer, Natty Nate, and the Plowhawk, who I think combined probably couldn't beat that guy.
I ate 4, and I beat the guy ate I don't know, 30.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, well, he was hungry. Natty Nate, how about this? This text just came in. If you can all get me Natty Nate's contact information, I will get him a ticket to Big Mac Land. Seriously, I would love to do it. This is the reason why we are Cardinal fans. It is a family. And, Doug, that comes from Bucky's Bang Bus.
Well, thank you, Bucky. That's a nice treat.
I will definitely give you my information.
All right.
Absolutely.
Can we put him on hold and then
for about an hour and 8 minutes? We're going to get back
and
to you.
then we will contact Bucky's Bang Bus with your information, Natty Nate. And you are going to Big Mac Land to eat all the treats your heart desires.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, Natty Nate.
Thanks, Nat.
Natty Nate. You can just call in and we make dreams come true. It's like Mr. Beast on St. Louis radio.
Feels like it,
Yeah, let's see. He old bastard of Belleville says, "Get Natty Nate some tickets, fellas." Then the next guy says, "Get him out of here."
Hey, come on.
Do you know we have the best fans in baseball in St. Louis?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. He didn't get tickets.
No, that was not Larry. That was Natty Nate.
That's different. Right. And they, at one time, were rivals, Martin. But
is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, you got to get to season 18.
I need to skip ahead.
Yeah, season 18.
They were rivals, what, for airtime?
No, both wrestling experts.
Yes.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
but then they bonded. They bonded. Jackson's holding up a dry erase board. This is interesting. I wonder what's going on. He's running plays.
I don't know why I even tried to, because immediately he's going to be called out on the air. I was trying to tell Chairman what to get information-wise from Natty Nate.
I felt like that was obvious, but I appreciate your producing effort.
I overheard the conversation, and Kurt said, I don't know what information that would be best, so I just said phone number.
Okay.
Just an email or a phone number, either one, right?
Just let us do our thing, Martin, and just stay out of it.
Wow.
Gosh.
Wow. I was merely commenting for the folks at home who can't see behind the scenes. Tim noted that Papers grabbed the grease board,
the dry erase
which
board.
Usually holds up and says, "All right, let's get to some hard takes here." We're like, okay. And this time it just said phone number, and he spun around. I'm like, a chairman probably knows.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I was going to get
Felt up a board that said, "Let's get to some hard takes."
Cut
here.
the nonsense,
I just
get to the
walk out.
takes.
So, listen, I know I'm under contract, but I got to go. I can't do this.
What if they really directed the show?
Bucky's
Pick a lane, Kilcoyne.
Your take is too soft. Hold them accountable is the next driver. Bucky's Bang Bus says, just like Norman Dale did at the end of Hoosiers, Doug. Love you guys.
Oh, is that what he said?
That's what he said, isn't it? They cut to the kid was playing basketball there at Hickory High School, and there's the picture, and they pan up there, and there are the boys. Old Jimmy Chitwood's there. Old Gordy. Ollie.
Oh, yeah. Ollie had a big free
Strap.
Strap.
And then there's Norman Dale. Final line. Love you guys. Well, we got the same thing just now from Bucky's Bang Bus.
Yeah. He must have tickets up there.
Yeah, Bucky's Bang. Well, that Bang Bus does really well.
Oh, okay.
That Big Mac Land thing, I think I've been to 5 Cardinal games this year. And that's always been the section that has it's the most densely populated, not in the lower bowl.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
why would you go anywhere else if you're going to sit up upper deck?
Agreed.
Might as well.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, Tim, that a Nook or a Bill DeWitt III, somebody was listening, like, let's get this guy down to a game, but it was Bucky's Bang Bus.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. We make things happen.
Yeah, I think Bucky's Bang Bus is in the black this year. I don't know about the Cardinals.
Hey, guys, so we all just need to call in to get free tickets or what? That's from Big Tuft.
Go ahead.
Chairman just bitch slapped Martin, much like Steve Simmons slapped Chayka.
Oh, the Maple Leafs exchange.
That's Sharon and Clayton.
Okay.
She enjoys Chairman Kurt. She's part of an alliance with Chairman Kurt. She loves his musical stylings.
Martin threw Chairman under the bus for keeping Nate on hold and then throws his hands up when Kurt fires back. Toughen up, Marty. It's from the 314. Martin, don't let Kurt talk to you like that. Grab that pullover around his shoulders and hang him. It's from Kevin at the lake.
Leave us alone.
I think hanging would probably be a little severe punishment. What you do passive aggressively is go to the boss and say, I don't like the way this guy's treating me.
Yeah, we got a kind of
We
a
didn't
problem here, but
Seems to be
All the
getting
guys are saying.
Yeah.
Not me, of course.
Texters didn't care for it at all.
How long until Big Macland collapses on the 704 Club? That's from the unknown DJ.
Doug, do you think they're wondering about the weight bearing?
It's probably been reinforced.
I think it's got a little sink to it.
Yeah.
They're noticing a sag in the All-Star break. They're going to reinforce it with more steel.
Yeah, some more pillars.
Yeah.
Kurt's a little banty because he learned how to use AI. That's from Jake in St. Genevieve. Kurt, is that why you were banty?
No, they're not related. I'm tired of that guy, too. I guess I am Banty.
Okay.
Why are you surprised at that? The all-you-can-eat seats are full. Wow.
That's from Wedding Tackle. He's not happy, I think, with Chairman Stephen DeMunn or that we are surprised. I don't know if I'm
I don't think so.
surprised.
I'm not surprised. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
It got
national attention. Jake's Coke rails.
Right. It was all over the place that this was a pretty sweet. I imagine that a lot of teams who once maybe had like a big contingent of fans, but maybe they're seeing dwindling, would absolutely pick up an option. Like, I don't think the Dodgers would be doing something like this, or the Yankees, who draw with no effort because of the way their teams are constructed. But teams like the Cardinals are a prime example.
It's pretty cheap food that they're giving away.
Right.
Popcorn and soda and
chicken
dishes.
Oh, wet blanket Doug. Okay, it's not good enough.
It's not like they're spending millions of dollars to make this happen. I think.
You did it once, didn't you?
Yeah.
What'd you get? What was
what'd you have, boy?
I got popcorn and water.
That's what you used the
Martin's
unlimited.
pissed. Now Martin's
That's what you used the unlimited
I didn't want to eat
popcorn and water.
Yeah. I'm a meat and potatoes guy.
Why didn't you
What's
just
chicken tender?
pick up some?
Nacho. You're at the ball game. Have a nacho.
You might as well just got
You're
a
un-American.
bag of gravel outside on Broadway.
Gravel.
I wasn't really very hungry. I just wanted to see what it was about.
Stop shaming us fats! That's from The Big Show.
No shame, man.
Hey, guys, am I blocked or my text just not really good? That's from the last MySpace user, unfortunately.
Could
It's
be,
the latter.
probably, the latter, I think.
My text. By the way, like when I throw Kurt under the bus, it's all joke.
Yeah. I truly don't think anyone's ever been blocked from the text line.
I'm just amazed somebody would be on hold for an hour and 8 minutes.
I'm not.
Pretty sure after COVID, they reinforced all stadia to handle excessive processed tubed meat consumption.
Some Carlos Spiceweed. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
I didn't think about the collapse into the 704 Club.
From tubed meat consumption.
That's correct. You're welcome to participate in the program by texting in. If the texts are good enough, they get read. 314-399-9646. That's how you can text in. And, of course, you can call in the Callier and Thompson phone lines like Natty Nate did. 314-974-0101. And, of course, you are welcome to email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Martin, you know anything about Design Air Heating and Cooling?
I do, Tim. Thanks for asking. Design Air Heating and Cooling has been around St. Louis for more than a century, and it's a fourth-generation family-owned and operated business. So when it's a family-owned business, their name is behind all of this. And that's why there's so much attention to detail, including your experience, not just fixing the air conditioning unit, but making sure the experience is a good one. They'll explain everything that needs to be done. Oftentimes, folks are trying to talk into something you don't need. They just don't do that at Design Air. We've had examples of that. people sending in what would have been a horror story if somebody had listened to the other advice they got. Go with the pros, but also the folks who give it to you straight. That's designerservice.com. Sign up for a maintenance plan. This time of year, make sure the air conditioning unit is ready for summer. It's going to be a long summer. You already know that in advance. Get that maintenance check. Sign up for the plan at designerservice.com.
There it is. Stop health shaming Doug. God forbid someone tries to protect their longevity instead of turning into a human feed trough.
Oh, yeah.
Leave him alone.
Thank you,
Sharon and Clayton.
Thank you, Sherry. Share.
Popcorn and water. What?
Oh, yeah.
God, don't even go. God.
Stop.
Once
Stop
in a
the
while.
fast food. Do a sit-up.
Yeah.
Do something.
I will, but now when I'm at the ball game.
The all-you-can-eat seats make sense. What still confuses me is the Tums cam in the second inning where the Festi, the plural of Festus, are required to hold up their helmet nachos like they're lifting a chalice.
It's a bad scene. It's a bad scene. That Tums cam.
And I think they're real careful with who they highlight. You know what I mean?
Right. Like it's usually like someone who might be a touch thinner, but still enjoying themselves a treat.
Right.
On the fast track to the fats.
I think the Blues have gotten some calls the next day complaining about that match game where they like celebrate look-alike.
Really? Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's say it's Norm from Cheers, and then they zoom in on you, and you're like, I'm not that fat. Like, I think it's on occasion offended some people, so I could see the same thing with your Tums cam.
I think it's like you pray you're not eating when that cam starts going because it's the last place you want to be.
There's a lot of nachos in that helmet. And a lot of cheese and a lot of grease.
Can I speak freely?
Well, yeah, you may.
I'm pretty anti-nacho. I think they're pretty bad.
Doesn't like dogs and doesn't like America and now doesn't like nachos.
Is it
2 or 3?
Is it specific
What about
to
hockey?
certain
Don't like
nachos?
3 or 4. No, nachos in general. Like there's some that are better, but ultimately you have to eat them within like 10 minutes before they go bad. And yeah, basic nachos.
A lot of work.
Pulled pork nachos you're getting warmer, but and then if you get it as an appetizer for the table, you nosh on it for a little bit. Then your entrees come and you leave half a plate of nachos there, and then it's useless. They're gross.
Now, Tim is all about bringing back the Navy caps.
Yes.
I think if you want to fix ballpark nachos, you got to go back to those. They were old El Paso. They were circular.
Past the old El Paso.
Kind of more of a
tortilla
round, like a round corn tortilla.
Yeah,
that's when you could do some work.
Tostitos
Speaking
scoops,
for the fats.
that's a play, but you're not going to find that in the nacho situation.
Right.
I'm just out on them.
Wedding Tackle wants a follow-up on his war with Chairman Steve and DeMunn. I think they're both TMA listeners of the month over the past few years, but Doug, I don't know if maybe we'll have to check with Alex, who is Buck Swope. Did my message to DeMunn Steve get through yesterday? I inquired about the overweight fats at Sasha's Wine Bar that are swimming in credit card debt from Botox injections and Range Rover payments.
Oh.
That's from Wedding Tackle.
How do we know they're swimming in this debt?
I haven't noticed that.
And he
Is it
accused
possible they're paying their
Steve.
credit card money?
I just read
I
the
haven't
text.
noticed that personally.
Oh, I see the text above. Steve, I was in DeMunn Saturday night, walked by Sasha's Wine Bar. Were you inside with the rest of the guys who have $20,000 in credit card debt? It's from Wedding Tackle. Boy, man, he wants a piece of Steve.
It really does.
Do they put that like on the reservation?
Their debt structure?
Yeah, I don't really know.
I got the nachos at the game on Sunday. Let me tell you how gross they were. They say they're beef nachos, but they're corn the beef out of a bag into a metal container and then put that on top of your nachos. It was so damn greasy. I had heartburn the whole damn game, and I had diarrhea the whole damn night. Doug, that's from Meat Man 23.
Didn't need to know the last part at all.
I'm casting stones here because I'll eat a hot dog as quickly as anybody else, but just nachos to me have always kind of been, they've never been for me.
What about hockey?
Yeah.
Also not for me.
What about dogs?
I want the species to prosper, but I personally don't want to be a part of it. I think that's a fair place to be.
What about Phoenix Marie?
Pro.
See? So that's what he likes, Doug.
Yeah.
Doesn't like dogs, doesn't like hockey.
Right. I'm relatable.
What is Phoenix Marie?
Who?
Who is that?
Actress.
Just an actress.
She's an actress.
Okay.
She's also about 6'2", and Papers wants to be tossed around.
She's not that tall.
Gosh.
She's tall. Not that tall. But 6'2", there's nothing wrong with that.
You can take one look at a person and see their debt. That's from the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom. Is that right?
No.
Should we start that game show? Guess their debt?
I think most of the country's probably in debt.
In some
kind
form
of
or
debt.
fashion, yeah.
But it's Sasha's, it's specific to Botox, is what they're saying?
I haven't noticed that. I've been a few times. And it just seems like people enjoying wine. It's got the perfect lighting in there.
Is this the same segment that started with Chaim Bloom and the Red Sox?
That's correct.
Yeah, Ken Rosenthal.
Okay.
Well, you never know, man. That's what happens when Jackson's off the Addy.
Right. Should I put on the grease board? Bring it back, fellas. Get to
I
the
will
takes.
fight wedding tackle right now. Leave my boo alone. That's from Ray King.
Ryan in Breezy Point. What's up, Ryan?
Listener of the month.
Ray King, yeah. Where's
LOM.
The crown.
Chairman Kurt just sent a picture of Phoenix Marie into the Air Comfort Service text inbox.
Okay.
I didn't want to send it directly to Doug's phone. What do you think, Doug?
Well, she's a big old gal. Looks like she could rebound.
I got her at
Probably gets you a couple
5'10".
boards. That's 5'10".
Yeah.
That's the money spot.
That's the money spot. And I'm guessing this is an adult actress?
Depends on your definition.
Right.
Okay.
You know, I think Steve and I would be fast friends. We probably just need to break bread. Is he available this Saturday? It's from Wedding Tackle. Well, how about that? Reaching across the aisle.
Yeah.
First, we got Natty Nate going down to a ball game thanks to Bucky's bumpy bus or whatever.
Right.
And then we've got Steve and Wedding Tackle coming together.
It's all happening now, Doug. That's what happens when the Cardinals start winning ball games. Most 30A vacationers have Silverado debt. That's from Crestwood Coyote. Are these things accurate?
I don't think so. No.
Pretty expensive truck, no?
Oh, yeah. But I don't think most people at 30A are struggling with Silverado debt. It may be an overstatement.
Stephen Wildwood, who is now Stephen DeMunn, says, I don't see it, buddy. I think you're confusing Napoli with Sasha's. I was having Manhattans at home after golf. You can stop by any time. Chairman Steve inviting Wedding Tackle over.
Right. I've had Manhattans with Steve before at One Cardinal Way.
How was it?
Oh, it was delightful.
Yeah.
All I know is Mrs. Steve came in the room. We're going to do a little television out there on the balcony overlooking the car. It was, I think, the beginning of their decline last year was the big Cubs series.
That's right.
Something bad. Was it Palante? Something went down in the game, and then they just tanked right after that. But Mrs. Steve came in and said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" Yeah, and said, "I'm going to bed." Like she wanted no part in our nonsense.
My wife's 5'11", Jackie. Most of these texters have little shrimp wives. That's from Ed Time.
Shrimp
At that time.
The top 5 debtors listening to TMA. I didn't know this information was available.
No, I didn't either.
Number 5, the guy attacking Stephen DeMunn. Number 4, Harrison, illegitimate child of Sharon. Number 3, Sharon herself. Number 2, the Ledoux mom that stays at home because she has an ankle monitor. And number 1, Mr. Licks. Doug, that comes from the Wars and Woods wacko who tracks the financing of the listeners.
I don't know how he has access to it.
It's all out there.
This is crowdsourcing, Tim, but is Live done for good? Are they doing any more tournaments, or is it week by week?
I saw Thomas Peters. Doug, did he go to ILL?
I don't know where he went, Tim.
He said he would rather play or retire, or rather play the DP World Tour or retire before going back to the PGA Tour. He is a Live golfer, for example. He says, I'm definitely not going back to the PGA Tour. I've never liked that life, and that's not me having a go at the PGA Tour. It's not for me. I tried it. I wasn't happy there. This is from Illini golfer Thomas Peters. If it, as in Live, goes away, I'll probably try and play some of the European Tour, or I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not fussed about it at this point because I feel like I still have a duty to focus on these next 6-7 tournaments on Live, and then we'll see. They're obviously trying to get it together next year. We'll see. He was then asked about the speculation that players hadn't been paid ahead of the event in Mexico City. He said, we got paid. We are getting paid. It was a week late. Brings back memories for those in the AM sports talk radio space. Some got it early, some got it a week late, but I'm not sure these guys check their bank accounts every 2 seconds. Then he was asked what Live Golf are telling the players about the future. Quote, not much. I think whatever comes out officially from Liv is what we're getting half a day before it goes out. Scott is telling us that he's going to a broader market and trying to fund this for next year. I guess it's a massive challenge, but we just have to wait and see. So that is Thomas Peters. He would not be in the DeChambeau Rahm camp of probably somebody that PGA would love to have back. And he himself says, I wouldn't go back to the PGA Tour anyway.
Huh. But at least he's getting paid.
Yes.
And I assume the checks are cashing.
But there's still a few people saying, well, maybe we can patch it together. Maybe we can save Liv. That's still kind of being talked about, even though it's unlikely.
I just don't know where you're going to get that kind of investment from. I mean, it's a substantial investment just to pay the players, much less to put on the type of events that they're putting on. And on top of it, they're not going like Wellington called in yesterday, and he was going from Houston or New Orleans area, Baton Rouge to Houston. And then the PGA Tour was going from, South Florida, Charlotte this week. They're going from continent to continent, you know? That was the whole thing. Grow the game, make it global.
Remember the days
Team golf.
The days of AM radio when they would pass out physical checks and people would then run to their cars trying desperately to get to the bank.
I believe the Plowhawk and Iggy told us of those tales. We fortunately never ran into it, but we heard tell of it, Martin.
Yeah, the parking lot looked like the start of a NASCAR race.
They were racing each other.
Because once the check deposited and there was no more money left in the account, the check was dead.
So the first person to cash.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes it happens.
Chairman Kurt, what's going on this Michelob Ultra? I see 332 people are in there. Are you arguing with somebody?
I'm just kind of putting a debate to rest.
What's the debate?
Somebody asked who would win in a ground war between St. Genevieve and Jefferson County.
St. Genevieve?
How did that
I see Jeremy Rutherford's in there talking it over with people about
knows.
it. So Jefferson County would be able to hold. You guys have a fortress, right?
Just by sheer numbers, it's 46-1. We outnumber them.
And I'm sure everybody's got a gun.
Most, yeah.
Yeah.
And not a lot to live for.
Not a lot to live for. And this is St. Genevieve a county? You're not just talking about the town of St. Genevieve.
I don't really know the logistics of it, but regardless, it wouldn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, Jeff County could be a snootful in any kind of county warfare.
Absolutely. I don't know if there's St. Charles may give us a run for our money, but that's about it.
Because that's probably a lot bigger than Jefferson County, right? Population, I'm sure it is.
We'll have our team check on that.
Okay.
Wacko, you're financing a cruise in Alaska. You don't want to bring up debt, you Ledoux wannabe. That's from the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom. And here we go. Just when we thought we were bridging gaps with Steve and Wedding Tackle, now the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom and the Warson Woods Wacko are going after each other.
If you have to go into debt to go on a cruise, you can't afford the cruise. Stay home.
But what if I get great points on my Rapid Rewards Visa?
No.
I get great points.
You don't go in debt for a cruise.
Now he's going to tell you he's not going on a cruise. He's going fishing.
Oh, that's right.
My wife is 6'2" and a 250-pound male. Get on my level. That's from Ray King. Doug, that's our April TMA Listener of the Month, presented to you by Form Energies. Meth users at the front of the line. That's from Chairman Stephen DeBunt. I don't know what that means, but that's what he texted in, and since he's at war, he gets read. You're welcome to go to war as well, 314-399-9646. Air Comfort Service text inbox. You're also welcome to email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. The program's called The Morning After. It's presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. What do you think's going on here, Doug?
I don't know.
Dell's birthday, you think? Dell's birthday.
Oh, all right.
Phew. Boy, I don't know. I want to say
37?
40.
Guess her birthday.
Yeah, there it is. See, Jackson's holding up his dry erase board. I'll go 40. I feel like that's too young. 40 is my play.
I said 37, so I guess I have to hang with it.
42.
She popped off really young.
Oh.
Like her first album was
Doug,
called...
you might win, but you might have overbid.
She like names her album kind of like when she makes them, and the big one was 21. That had Rolling in the Deep and everything. So she today turns 38.
Doug, you won!
Yeah,
You get both Showcase Showdowns.
Finally.
Is it showcases and the Showcase Showdowns with the wheel?
Yeah.
Watch this as I'm spinning the wheel. See the gesture?
Looks like, yes, nice
improv.
gesture.
Thank you. It's like Second City over here. The program's called TMA. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Stiefel Studios. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you. Jackson celebrating Adele's 38th birthday. You can talk it over with Chairman Kurt, and if he thinks you're good enough, you can get on this show. But not just anybody can get on this show. You heard Natty Nate's call.
Mm-hmm. Sat there an hour and 8 minutes.
I like the idea of papers just holding up to the
You can also text in 314-399-9646. These are all ways to get involved on the morning after. A lot of Cardinal discussion today here on the presentation, and you're welcome to give your thoughts as well. Why is it different than last year? Martin, were we saying this off air or was this on air where you said that they were 9 games over 500 at the end of June?
Yes, end of June last year. It was either 8 or 9. I've got a lot of notes going on here. But yeah, end of June, then they went 8-16 in the month of July. Kind of bottom up. They were 47-39 after June 30th last year.
Now,
so that's 3 months in.
So going further into the conversation that we had at the start of the 8 o'clock hour, I feel similarly that I did last year. I'm like, it ain't going to last. I'm not sitting here thinking that this is going to be a 90-win team. But at this pace, they would be in that realm. Their win total in Vegas is up to, I believe, 78.5. So I keep going back to then what is different? I'm asking myself, in some sense, it's rhetorical. I don't know, because it's not like I'm sitting here going, oh, I think that this team can be, some great team. But last year, I didn't think they could be some great team. I also wasn't engaged by them. This team, I don't think, is going to be a great team, but I'm engaged by them. And I didn't have, and I'm not saying people were wrong to have this, I just didn't have the, intense distaste for John Mozeliak, which I do think plays a role for some fans, that he is just gone, and therefore they're back on board. That's not where I personally was. I guess maybe if it's hey, these guys are going to be around for a while, and they've played together. They like each other. They like playing hard. They like staying in games and fighting back. And I guess maybe it's just the youthful energy, and also not wasting games with guys just either in the lineup or in the rotation that you're playing contracts.
And the starting rotation doesn't have a wow factor at all, but it's pretty solid. Like most nights, you're going to get 5-ish innings, and it would be nice if you go a little deeper, but that's changed. The game has changed for the most part, and Leahy's name does not jump out at anybody. Same with Palante. McGreevy's still new, but for the most part, they give you a decent chance to win. And when it was Fedde and Michaelis 2/5 of the time, you were kind of laughing, going, okay, how many homers are they going to give up? It was very deflating when you had those two in your rotation, and it was part of the patchwork roster. Like, you didn't need to, they kept Michaelis longer than they needed to. Eric Fedde, God bless him, professional baseball player, but
he's having a decent year for the White Sox. Have you seen his numbers? I think they should get him back.
He likes pitching for the White Sox.
Yeah, I want Fedde
but
back.
I just think there was kind of a malaise with a lot of the roster decisions.
Bro, they're already doing great things. They're already a great team. Doug, that's from It's Your Boy Fuzz.
Well, I don't know, great team. If they're a great team, a good team for sure. Yeah, and I think that's really the principal reason that people have changed their mind. Just they're winning. That's simple.
But they were 9 games over 500 last year.
And
in
still
June.
weren't drawing very big crowds, were they?
And there wasn't really a buzz around town like there is now. So that's why. Like, listen, hey, if it were simply, they were under 500 throughout the entire season last year, and that's the difference. They're over 500 now. What, 8 games over 500? Am I right? 22 and 14, 21 14,
21 and 14. But as much as we talk about that lineup, and Walker being the cleanup guy certainly helped. My next question was, okay, who's going to back him up? If Walker were to drop off at all, I don't know who you would turn to. Remember, Wynn was hitting cleanup for a little bit there.
Yeah.
That didn't look good.
Urias one game.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of options if Walker tails off. You got Weatherholt, Herrera, Burleson. You feel like those three are going to stay pretty consistent, I think.
Yeah.
As long as Walker continues to give you a legit at bat, you're fine. But after that, if he's not the candidate, you got nobody to hit cleanup.
Take everything you said about the Cardinals, Doug. What does that mean? Take everything you said about the Cardinals, Doug. That's from Pele Blanco.
Someone agreeing with me that they must go get Eric Fetty. If you're serious about winning.
Martin, they made a move yesterday that I thought was interesting. So JC.
Oh,
going down. Yeah. Now, he had not been playing. He had been playing at the start of the season damn near all the time, whether it be in the infield or in the outfield. And they made a move, a guy that I didn't really spend much time, even though his statistics were there when I would go through the Memphis Redbird stats and their box scores, because I think perhaps we were under the impression that the Cardinals didn't necessarily view him as a, factor at the major league level. But alas, here he is.
That Cesar Prieto, it seemed the last couple of years, was always hitting at a decent clip. They never called him up. So JC, they said it's because he's just not getting any playing time, and they want him to get some playing time. But also a guy like Prieto, he's 27 almost. He's turning 27 real soon. If you don't give him a little bit of a sniff at some point, and I get it, we look at numbers, they look at video and say, hey, yeah, he's hitting 300, but you have no idea. He's not ready for the big leagues, whatever. At some point, I think you got to give those guys a chance and see if it translates at all.
That's what I'll be intrigued to see, is what they do if these guys in particular. I realize Crooks has the strikeout numbers. They didn't have a game last night, so it still is where he is. 10 home runs, 90 at-bats, 38 strikeouts in 90 at-bats. Blaze Jordan has been raking, and then Baez, how they handle that. What they do with Nootbaar when he comes back. May 23rd right now is the date. We'll see if that winds up happening. I suppose one would go, okay, well, then Church moves to center, if indeed that all plays out. Would you guys agree with that? That's what would happen. The third base situation is not one that's a strength. Can be here and there, but it's definitely not consistent. And you got a guy in Blaze Jordan who's playing third at Memphis who's raking. Do you do that? Pages has gotten it going offensively over the last week and change. But you got a variety of catchers at the minor league level raking.
If you were to bring Blaze Jordan up to play third, you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do with Gorman. Does that mean that's the end of Gorman as a Cardinal? Would they try to move him? I don't think they'd put him on the bench.
Stop it, Doug. You wanted them to continue adding middling free agents to an aging core. Eat me, sportscaster.
Oh.
That's from Gus Chiggin's prospecting party.
He just got suspended.
Oh, wow.
That's the appliance discounter suspension log you just grabbed?
I see he was suspended last week as well.
So this guy's becoming a problem, isn't he?
So the charges have been trebled. Gus Chiggins, you've now been suspended a period of 6 days times. No, I don't expect it does feel very good. It's not meant
Suck
to.
it, Doug. Now there's Edmonds. That's from the tractor.
That's what he said.
How many current Cardinals could Edmonds name? I'd tell you, 5 or 6 probably?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. I feel like
what if we have him on?
Yeah.
What do you want? Just to see how many Cardinals you can name.
Yeah.
I bet he can't help but watch a little bit.
Ooh, I'd make
Dougie's
that.
He watches it all.
2, 3,
Here we go.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I have not seen the Cardinals have this much fun in years. That's part of it. Also, I think these new players are so cute, especially at that Church fella.
That's from Chairman Steve in Des Moines. Does that factor in that the players are cute?
I don't think it should. No.
But you can't blame guys if they think the guys are cute.
We can't blame our listeners.
Everything's just wet.
Oh, right. Gosh. Yeah.
Sonny Gray coming off the injured list here, I think, very soon in Boston.
I'm back.
Now in
Sure, he's
Boston,
having a lot of fun up there.
Now in Boston, Wilson Contreras got himself in trouble with what was perceived war of words. Doug, is it Marcelo Mayer of the Red Sox?
We'll go with that.
Okay. As Red Sox players changed into their uniforms, the visitors' clubhouse at Comerica Park on Monday afternoon, TVs on the wall showed an MLB Network segment in which analysts discussed a supposed feud between Wilson Contreras and second baseman Marcelo Mayer because of their post-game comments Sunday. The headline of a New York Post aggregation article stated that the Red Sox players were, quote, turning against each other in an ugly clubhouse war of words. The reality, according to Contreras and Mayer, was much different. An irritated Contreras told reporters he didn't think his post-game comments had been portrayed fairly. Speaking through an interpreter, the veteran wanted to clear the air. I think it's unfair that it was tried to put against my team when the thing I said wasn't even close to what I meant, or tried to put me against my team. Obviously, it's hard to see. I feel like every time I say something or do something, they try to do the opposite. They try to put me against my teammates or everybody else, and that's what I felt like. After a loss to Houston, in which the Red Sox went 0 for 11, with runners in scoring position and left 13 men on base, Contreras told Boston reporters that the youth of Boston's roster was likely a factor in the club's early season struggles. And across the clubhouse, Mayer, unaware of what Contreras had said, answered a question about Boston's young core with, quote, to me, that's just kind of an excuse. Blame the young guys. An assumption was made, at least in some circles, that the players were at odds. And on Monday, Mayer called it, quote, one of these classic blown out of proportion Twitter things. Quote, I think things got taken out of context. I didn't mean to take a shot at anybody, especially Wilson. Wilson and I have a great relationship. He's an amazing teammate, a great person, and a true veteran of this game. We really respect him in the clubhouse, and he helps us a lot. He helps the team. He helps the young guys. None of that was directed at Wilson. So the back and forth between him and Mayer was one thing, and then also Contreras said the guys got a little loose, and I felt the tension was gone after Alex Cora was fired. So Wilson Contreras was asked if he was not a fan of Alex Cora, and he said, I think Alex did a great job here. Everything he did here was amazing. What I said was that I see was the guys, from what I can see, feel more relaxed. That's what I can feel. That was it. So that's what's going on in Boston with Sonny Gray's been on the IL. He'll be coming off soon. And Wilson Contreras says that his comments were taken out of context.
Contreras tends to wear his heart on his sleeve and doesn't have much of a filter. He'll say just about anything. And I'm sure the media up there that likes to stir it up anyway has found him as a go-to guy and trying to make more out of it than what it is.
Especially with a struggling team.
Yeah.
Oh, you better believe it. And they're not real happy in Boston right now anyway, Doug. You've had the Celtics losing to the Sixers. Was that 23 straight series they had won against the Sixers? Going back to, was that 83
years?
Dr. J, Larry Bird?
Yeah, sounds right.
And then the Bruins, they lose to the Sabres.
Patriots lose a Super Bowl.
It's
and
fine.
they got a situation.
Yeah, they got a big situation there with their
head coach.
Boston's won plenty over the last several years.
But you want them to win more.
No, I don't. No. Share the wealth. They've won plenty.
You like chowder?
I do, yeah.
What's your favorite
New England,
chowder?
not Manhattan.
What's the difference, boy?
The New England is the white, milky chowder. Manhattan's red with a lot of vegetables in it.
That sounds good.
It isn't. I didn't think that take was going to go to soup, but it did.
TJ, I'm sorry, not a fan of Wilson Contreras. Contreras is a little bitch. Loser. So TJ, I'm sorry. I feel like most Cardinal fans were big fans of his.
Yeah, I think his teammates were big fans too.
Yeah. TJ, I'm sorry, you can elaborate if you'd like by calling in 314-974-0101, Callier and Thompson phone lines. You can text in Air Comfort Service, text inbox 314-399-9646. And, of course, you're welcome to email in for coming up on our Polos Plus dossier, the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Unfortunately, though, not everybody's going to be able to participate. Doug, sounds like Gus Chiggin's prospecting party will not be able to after he got suspended. The appliance discounters suspension log. You will hate TMA listeners. Appliance Discounters has an exclusive deal just for you. Come in today and receive an instant 5% rebate off your next appliance purchase. That's right, 5% instant savings off their already low prices. In addition to the 5% instant rebate, you can receive other factory rebates, some up to $1,500 direct from the manufacturer. Now you know why they're called the Appliance Discounters. Huge savings, locally owned, next day delivery, 18 months interest-free financing, all from the #1 largest family-owned appliance retailer in St. Louis. Visit any of their 7 area locations. They are in Afton, Baldwin, Concord Plaza, Earth City, Maplewood, St. Charles, or shop online at theappliancediscounters.com. Just got a dishwasher from there not too long ago. Theappliancediscounters.com. Take a break, come back with more TMA here on 101 ESPN. Delmar Mortgage is online at delmarmortgage.com, and I am working with Ryan Luchtefeld at delmarmortgage.com. Ryan Luchtefeld played for the Billikens. He was our St. Louis University basketball insider during the Billikens' run to the Atlantic 10 Championship and the NCAA tournament. His personal number, 618-593-3608. That's 618-593-3608. It's personal, local touch, but with all the necessary technology to make the process smooth and easy. And I can speak to that firsthand. We're taking a look at the housing market right now. Wanted to make sure we had our ducks in a row. And so we called up Ryan and started working with him. And it could not have been any easier. I mean, it was a really quick turnaround, super easy now. And that is what they do at Delmar Mortgage. Ryan Luchtefeld, 618-593-3608. They can get closings in as little as 2 weeks. Ryan Luchtefeld, Delmar Mortgage, 618-593-3608.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Knicks defeat the 76ers 137-98 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semis. Jalen Brunson with a 35-point effort. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Cinco de Mayo, where good lives and tomatoes is the fifth of May. Hip the hip hooray, the sun is shining bright, and the fifth is alright. Everyone grab your sombreros, don't forget the mayo. We put the stuff on everything, our burgers and our fries, and don't forget your chicken wings and your sandwiches are nice. They're better with the mayo.
Doug, Cinco de Mayo song.
Okay.
Three successions. Take a listen. It's unbelievable. Listen to this bridge.
Burritos, Totitos, the Doritos and Cheetos, Fritos, Mojitos, and the Senoritos, Flamingos and Trios with the jalapenos. Oh yeah. Tacos from Pacos with panchos, nachos, churros, rancheros, and some Canyoneros. I'm out. Adios, amigos. We bought this stuff on everything, our burgers and our fries, and don't forget your chicken wings. And we'll celebrate today. This one's for the mayo. There you have it. Cinco de Mayo anthem.
And how great is that? That went platinum?
I don't think that it did, no. I'm sorry. I just don't think it did.
That's my favorite of acoustic session.
That's on your Mount Rushmore. It's the George Washington.
Yeah, it's along there with the Halloween song.
Oh, it's so good.
4th of July.
And the Cardinals, it's time to win.
Did they do the Gloria one where it's like...
No, that was a family.
Okay.
And Laura Branigan.
Yeah.
It's Team A101 ESPN. Jackson, how do you celebrate Cinco de Mayo?
In the middle of the week, probably nothing, if I'm being honest with you.
What about those Rosalitas, Cadillac fajitas? Forget about it.
Don't play. I got Mexican food on Friday.
Where'd you get it, boy?
El Catron.
Doug?
Where's that?
South City of Morgan Ford.
Oh, I see.
Overlooking River de Pere?
Yeah, in the shadows of River de Pere.
G'd outside for the view.
It was a beautiful night, but no, but it was tasty. I've really had a hankering for Mexican food over the last week or two.
Well, then there you go. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
You just heard that song.
I know.
Gives you a variety of options. Burgers, fries, and chicken wings.
Yeah, right. And not to mention that during that bridge, he mentioned about 25 foods, maybe half of them of Latin descent.
You know what Cinco de Mayo commemorates?
I don't, but I'm sure you'll inform.
The Mexican Army's victory over France at the Battle of Puebla in 1862.
How about that?
Nice.
That was a nice win.
Nice. Hell of a time for history. 1862, just 3 years later, the Civil War would be settled.
Yeah, it was still going on in 1862.
Raging, even.
Can we have more than one score in our Sports Center updates? That's from Gooey.
You may not.
Doug, there's the answer.
How about you get yourself the internet and look for whatever scores you want, your own self?
Yeah, you can.
How about that?
It's a one-score update. That's what I do.
Anyone who has a phone has all the scores right there at their fingertips.
Whoa. Now you're starting to devalue Jackson's Sports Center update.
Well, I know it. It's a fine update for those too lazy to look at their phone and to see what the score was.
Wasn't there a phone number you used to be able to dial and get sports scores?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I got it for you. 314-321-1111.
And you could call and get time and temperature?
That's what my dad always accused his sales staff of doing when he would walk by.
Yeah.
Oh, Timmy's out there on time and temperature. He's not calling anybody. His ass will be out of here in 2 weeks anyway. I told Marisek.
It is crazy to think about stuff like exactly like that. Like you want to know the weather before the internet.
Or if you were gambling and that was, you're in the fourth quarter and you got a little sweat, you had to walk over to the landline to call. Oof. As I witnessed growing up.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be tough.
Why is Dad on the phone all Sunday afternoon? And he never talks.
And if someone else was on the phone, you couldn't then be on the phone. Unless you had a 2-line phone?
That was not for people in the 631.
No.
You might have
meat and potatoes, guys, we didn't have 2 phone lines.
Yeah,
we would love to have had 2
You just
phone
opened
lines.
a window with a megaphone.
If someone was on the phone in your house, the phone was occupied. There was no other way around it.
Sure.
How about some local sports updates rather than updates about sports that we don't even have here? That's from Andy Pence.
Gotcha. Cardinals won. They play again tonight.
Yeah. What's the number to call to get Tim's lock of the week on voicemail? That's from the 636.
You should lean into being like a
tout?
full-scale Stu Finder-esque tout.
Tout. Now, we got a situation on the spread zone. Doug, as you know, I gave you Matthew Fitzpatrick at the RBC Heritage in Hilton Head. I gave you the Fitzpatrick brothers at the Zurich Classic. And this past week, I gave you Cam Young at the Blue Monster in South Florida. The boys now head to another signature event, in parentheses, for some reason. And this time it's Quail Hollow. It's Rory's Playground in Charlotte, North Carolina. Will the motivation be there for the Masters winner? Scotty Scheffler says, I'll take a pass on this week's festivities. Who will emerge as the winner? I feel pressured to deliver for people because now I know people are tailing me. 3 straight weeks of giving winners. The spread zone's not used to that. Spread zone is negative EV. If anything, people are making millions of dollars fading the spread zone. The spread zone exists to be faded.
Okay.
Faded. Who's that, Lil Wayne? Is that Lil Wayne?
Tyga.
I just don't.
I think Lil Wayne's in there.
It was for sure Tyga.
But I think Doug, was Lil Wayne in there with Tyga?
I don't know.
It was Lil Wayne and Tyga?
Tyga and Lil Wayne.
Right.
You want to apologize to me?
No. Because he's
wow. And that tells me a lot about Jackson Burkett.
Tyga's the one who says faded. Lil Wayne might have a verse. I don't care. Didn't do much after that, though. He had Rack City.
Okay. Stunned that he didn't do much after that.
Guy, Southwest Airlines has a number to call to help avoid the St. Louis heavy BMI passengers heading to Florida.
Do they really?
So there's a special number that you can call from Southwest Airlines that will let you know the BMI of the passengers if you're flying to South Florida.
So when you pick your seat, you want to stay away from the heavies?
God, that's I got to tell you, that's customer service.
Yeah,
they got rid of the cattle call line, and there's a cattle call line.
I miss it.
You missed the cattle call line?
Yeah, I would almost always get a window or aisle. I guess I'm always usually
because you were following my 2 tips to never have somebody sit in the middle seat next to you. And what were those 2 tips? Let's see if you've learned anything from me in these 5.5 years. I'm retiring soon. I'm going away.
The tips to not having somebody sit in the middle.
That's correct.
Put a naughty magazine on the seat in the middle.
That's correct.
Naughty.
Okay, so I have to acquire some sort of
stag magazine.
Right. And at this point in 2026, I don't know where one would go for that.
Doug will give you a copy of his swank.
Yeah, I'll have to go to Craigslist and meet some Ted Levine looking guy. And then the other one.
Grab the vomit bag.
Oh, yeah.
Rock back and forth if somebody's eyeing the seat and say, I shouldn't have had those eggs this morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I have to look like a nauseous pervert to avoid having someone sit next to me for 2 hours.
Do you want to win the game?
No, I do. I don't like I'm right. You're right.
They got rid of the cattle call because here in St. Louis, all the cows that would get on there to go to South Florida. So they didn't want to offend all the women here that need more than one seat. That's from Andy Pence. Why was it specific to the ladies? As if the gentleman here is svelte.
And the ladies need 2 seats?
That's what Andy Pence says.
I've been on a decent amount of flights in my life. I've never run into a passenger who was so heavy that 2 seats were required.
Now people are going to start sending in anecdotes.
I'm sure they will, and I'm happy to hear them.
Do they make them buy 2 seats now? I think they do.
I don't know. But what's the line of demarcation? Like if you're spilling over so much,
they probably measure your boiler.
Like you have to get into the suitcase thing to see if you fit as well.
Yeah,
that would be tough. I'd rather just do the cattle call. I liked it. I'd always get an aisle and I'd always get a window. Now it's 50-50. And I ain't paying that whatever it is to upgrade.
Have to.
I ain't doing that.
It's because cows are female. It's from Andy Pants, so that explains it.
Bulls are male, yeah.
That's right. And Doug's a bull.
Doug is a bull.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, there's a drop. I'm calling for drops here. I'm calling for everybody to go to Dr. Brandon Pryor at 100 West Dental, too. If you're struggling to eat steak, missing a tooth, denture that's floating around like a hockey puck, get to know Dr. Pryor at 100 West Dental. Complex rehabilitative dentistry, implants, reconstructions, and giving you the ability to chew and smile back to 100%. Most dentists are going to charge you $500 just to find out what's wrong. Not Dr. Brandon Pryor. This is for the TMA audience only. Dr. Pryor is waiving the cost of a 3D scan and implant consultation for TMA listeners. That's a $450 value on the house just to see if you are a good candidate. Get your smile and life back. Call 100 West Dental at 636-585-0100 or visit 100westdental.com to schedule right from your phone. Tell them I sent you for a complimentary implant consult at 100westdental.com. Coming up on the polosplus.com dossier, we have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Send your emails in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. The program is called TMA, and it's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. From the Stiefel Studios, this is our Mark Hanna Evergreen Wealth Strategies 9 o'clock hour. God, I hate this song.
Why are you playing it?
You don't
Why
like
are you
this
doing
song?
this?
You don't like?
Awful.
I don't know. I think it's pretty swinging.
Kind of catchy.
I think it's kind of swinging. You grab your best gal.
Oh, wow.
I like that, though. I'll tell you, I'm on board with that. It's TMA 101 ESPN 9 o'clock hour. Why are you playing Lou Bega?
I don't know.
I mean, this song predates your existence.
For sure. A lot of songs predate my
I
existence.
understand that. I'm aware as well. but I'm just surprised that like a kind of a one-off, one-hit wonder that, you know, maybe people would put in the rearview mirror as Lou Bega didn't necessarily launch into greatness. Kind of like the Macarena. Like if you were playing the Macarena,
Nice song.
same era, I'd go, I wonder what's going on with the gentleman from Macarena. Doug, very prominent at Fieldhouse DBA, the Viper Room in Columbia, Missouri, on Broadway in the mid-1990s.
I wonder if you can retire comfortably on a song that's that big of a hit.
Guess it depends on the size of the hit and how much you've played concerts off of it.
But everybody was doing the Macarena there for a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, you just got dismissed. You asked a really good question.
Sorry.
Well, it's a question I wish I had more of an answer to. I know that a lot of artists make most of their money on touring and concerts, so it kind of depends on how long you can tour and concert with a song.
Yeah.
You know who didn't have a one-hit wonder?
No.
Tyga. That's from Doug's favorite quarter zip.
He had two.
Not happy that you accused Tyga of being a one-hit wonder.
I didn't say he was a one-hit wonder. I said he had Faded in Rack City.
Mambo number 5 in the latest Boys episode is why he's playing it. It was an awesome scene. That's from Ray King.
I'm not.
Doug, I don't know what that
I'm
is.
not up on. I'm through 3 episodes of The Boys so far.
Doug, have you watched The Boys?
No, I haven't.
I have not seen the newest episode, the newest 2 episodes, so I'm behind. So I got to watch that. So I like the assumption, but I have not yet seen it.
Boys, I'm watching MLB TV right now, or MLB Network. Mark DeRosa and the gang are enthusiastically promoting the young Redbirds. How about that, Doug?
Saw Dontrell Willis was on board, too.
Yeah. How could you not be right now?
Right.
Jackson, I'm putting you on the spot here. I sent you 4 clips, the time codes. I remember old time codes back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Time codes from, and one of them was Rosenthal not being high on the Cardinals this year. But I didn't see that in the list of audio.
I got it.
You do have it. Okay. Ken Rosenthal is not a believer that the Cardinals are going to be able to continue to do this. Take a listen.
You are, and knowing how you want to go forward. Now, do I expect the Cardinals to stay in it? Not really. And the reason for that is their pitching staff, which, while so far okay, they've done some good things. They've got a back of the bullpen that is at least formidable, and they've gotten good work out of their starters. But this is a team that is last in the majors in strikeout rate. They don't miss bats, and that's how the game is played today. So ultimately, do I believe that catches up with them? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, again, what they're doing and the way they're playing, they're an extremely talented defensive club, up in the top defensive metrics in both outs above average and defensive runs saved. So that compensates a little bit for their lack of swing and miss. You watch them in the Fox game on Saturday, there were 4 double plays turned behind Michael McGreevy, some of them quite brilliant. They've got Walker, who looks like a star, Weatherholt, who looks like a star, Ryan Church, pretty good player in left field. Some really good things are happening there. Ivan Herrera behind the plate, another one. So, again, I don't expect it to happen right away, but what they're doing right now is far more than their fans expected, and it gives their fans hope now that, okay, we're going to be okay in the future.
What's that?
Hashtag it.
What do you think about his take, both on the short term and then the...
It's hard to disagree with any of that. Yeah. I thought they'd be terrible this year. I was on record for that, saying that many times. I thought it would just be a disastrous season. It's been anything but. Very happy to be so wrong. Can they keep it up the whole way? I don't know. I'd be surprised at that, too. But every game you watch, it looks like they got a chance to win, even though the losses are close. There's no reason why they can't. Even though the Central Division looks strong this year, it doesn't look like it's impossible to be better than some of these teams. I think the Cubs are the class of the division. I don't think anybody's going to catch them. But I think the Cardinals could certainly stay in the wild card race all the way to the end.
Lot of anger over him calling Nathan Church Ryan Church in the text inbox.
Oh, yeah. That's what they picked out from that. Okay.
It's like when McGreevy calls in, spends 20 minutes with us, but says Pevley.
Yeah, he's going to wear that one.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't bother me either that they don't strike out that many people. If you can get outs early without making 5 or 6 pitches to a hitter, maybe your starter lasts another inning or two.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that as being the reason why he didn't think they would be able to sustain this. I would think of a variety of other reasons. Mm-hmm. They're heavily leveraged on their health, which is what either you or Martin, I know, were saying earlier. And in addition to that, while there have been guys toward the bottom of the lineup that have popped up over this run that started with 4 straight in Pittsburgh, 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, and now a win against the Brewers, how likely is that to continue? It's not particularly likely. And then also, when you have a game, and last night you did have Romero and O'Brien pitch, but O'Brien only threw 3 pitches. But you have a game where both those guys the night or day before throw a decent number of pitches. I think it'd be worth it to look into what the numbers say as far as the Cardinals' performance the next day, because if those 2 guys aren't available, oh boy, yow. I mean, they're heavily leveraged on those 2 arms as well.
Stanek has his moments. One time he goes out, he looks pretty good, and the next time, ugh.
Yeah. Last night
he was really good.
It was Graceffo who was off last night.
Guys, I guess Martin put in some PTO before onboarding, huh? That's from Bobby Big Wheels. Now, that's bad hosting on my part, Bobby Big Wheels. Your observation is fair. Martin texted us last night that he had to bolt like the wind at 9 o'clock. And then we were in the midst of, I was probably talking about myself, if I had to guess. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that's essentially what it was. Yeah. And he got up. He was heading out. So, yes, that's what was going on. So Martin bolted before the 10 o'clock hour today. Doug, but don't worry. He'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not that worried, really.
At 7 o'clock. And then we'll head to onboarding at 10 o'clock as per usual. Get involved on the program. Text in, call in, email in. We will have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day coming up on the presentation. That is coming up here. It is TMA, and it's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Man, I'm telling you, I had Roof Restore out to my house 2 weeks ago, and I am so glad we did it. Number one thing, this isn't really what they do, but of course they check your roof. We had a little hole in our roof, so that has been tended to. But what they do is they maintain your roof. Now, most of us, I would imagine, make sure we maintain our vehicles, get oil changed, make sure that there's upkeep on our cars. Of course, cars, declining asset. Homes, usually you're going to build equity in your home and can become your most valuable asset. But yet we don't do the same upkeep on our homes like we do with our cars. That's a miss. We need to unlearn that mindset and make sure that perhaps the biggest liability with our homes, the roof, is maintained. That's where Roof Restore comes into play. They are online at notanewroof.com. Every roof should have someone look at it every 4 to 5 years. No matter how good the roofer was, the materials were, they still use things like caulk and rubber gaskets that can crack and dry out in the sun. And with the freeze and thaw cycles in our region, shingle nail pops are inevitable, and all these things cause water penetration over time. Small problems today become big problems down the road. And for a fraction of the cost, literally about 10% of the cost of a new roof, you can maintain and get years of extra life out of your existing roof. This is just good business, good home ownership. Go to notanewroof.com. Work with my guy Michael Mahoney at notanewroof.com. TMA 101 ESPN. Doug, look on your right. It's Brody.
I saw him sitting over there. Hello, Brody.
Hello, Doug. How you doing today?
Oh, fine.
It's an honor and privilege to be on the Morning After. As always, it is the highlight of my week. There's
Doug, you should have to
better.
say that 50 times every day.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Meditate.
I just love being here. It's so much fun.
Say that, too.
Okay, I'm not saying that.
So when they come to us and say, what about 6 hours? Remember that.
Oh, I'm ready.
How you liking that after the Morning After?
I'm loving it, Tim. It is so much fun, obviously, giving all of these people one extra hour of content.
Doug wants
I'm sure
2
they're
more.
loving
Doug
it.
wants to do
I
2.
don't want 2 more.
I don't mind it at
Fine,
all.
right where it is.
Why not?
You came to our appearance last week at the Missouri Tiger Club.
Of course.
And you bore witness to Doug getting sideways with the audience. Thoughts?
I thought that was par for the course. I thought you guys did a great job. That was so much fun at Llewellyn. Seeing you, Martin, Doug, Jackson. It was such a treat. Just you guys going up there and giving back. There's nothing better. It's so much fun.
I simply argued for the Tigers to play St. Louis U.
Yeah, and you had to eat that.
Yeah.
Brody gave me the hero's entrance, so I walked in.
Yeah, you did get a little applause.
Thank you.
You deserved it, Jackson. Are you kidding? For all that you do for this show, you deserve a hero's welcome any day of the week for what you do for the Morning After. So does Kurt. So does Jackson. I mean, everybody. I mean, of course, Navy Caps on the Road. What a great song, of course.
Beautiful song. I got my Navy cap. I think we had the exact same cap. Oh, you got the fitted, though. We already went over that. I got the Navy cap. They're selling them down at Busch Stadium with the snapback papers. I'm a big fan. What do you think about that? So it looks exactly like what Chairman Kurt has, like what the team wore when they were winning. And it's got the snapback. So I think for me, with this lopsided skull crisis that I'm in, that it's a better fit.
Yeah, and I know, and this is not a shot, Doug, even though some might find it intended as a shot. Like when my hair gets longer, I wear a different size fitted cap than when I have my hair cut down low. So
why would that be a shot?
Well, because you're without hair.
Oh, how dare you!
You can just get one size and you're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Jackson.
But then he runs it. I don't have this issue. He has the lopsided head thing. I don't have to deal with
that's
that.
another shot.
Gosh.
It's another shot. It's another shot. It's not like
Strike
it's
two.
like, oh, I'd love to be bald with a lopsided head. Give me more of that. You think that's what they're lining up for? Victoria's Secret?
I'm just saying that the snapback allows anybody, whether it's follicles changing, skull shape changing.
Oh,
it allows
I didn't know it was a metamorphosis. I thought this is kind of just the way it's been since '76.
No, it's just
Chairman Kurt's getting pissed back there.
What about Tim's height? You're taller
Yeah,
than
what
him,
about that?
too.
Well, that wouldn't affect your cap size.
I don't know.
What if I get that surgery in China here in the off season?
I think you're underestimating how excruciatingly painful that would be to have both your.
Especially as I'm working
Tim,
on my.
how tall are you, though?
It depends. Are you asking with the lifts or without the lifts? Because without the lifts, I wouldn't be able to see you. I'd be under this dais.
He's like 4'8" or so.
4'8".
I think you'd
Mickey
be-
Carroll and I used to do some work in the Lollipop Guild.
I think you would be in some quasi-hospital in Shanghai screaming to the heavens and how much pain you were in.
There's no anesthesia in China?
Eating Oxycontin like they were M&Ms.
Oh,
If they shattered both your legs and then stuck metal rods in there to make you taller, I truly think it would be some of the worst pain you could go through. I'm not sure, though.
Well, I'm still going through with it.
I mean, I respect your resolve.
And we're going to call you High Pockets.
Yeah.
Right. You know what's not lopsided is the Cardinals this season. After 7 out of 8, they've gone 7 out of 8. Yes. You know, I'm excited, but unfortunately, I still think at the trade deadline they could be shopping around Riley O'Brien, Dusty May, JoJo Romero. I think Chaim Bloom is more thinking long-term for the Cardinals, so I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. But, 5 teams in the National League Central, all with winning records. They are only 3 teams in the American League above 500 and 2 teams currently at 500. So the entire National League Central is basically doing better than the American League. It is unbelievable to see it. I'm so excited. But I still don't think the Cardinals will make the playoffs. They're more likely to be a last-place team in the National League Central than to place 3rd in the National League Central. They currently are in 2nd right now, but the Reds are only 1 game behind them. So we'll see how the Cardinals shake out. Maybe we'll get some better starting pitching down the line. I have no idea. We probably won't. That's just me optimizing.
You think they would shop around some of their veteran players even if they're still in the race?
Well, define what's in the race. I mean, if we're definitively still on the wild card spot at the trade deadline, I just think they'd keep everybody and just see how it rides out. But even if we're like 2 or 3 games out of the wild card, I think you trade Dusty May, you trade Riley O'Brien, and trade JoJo Romero and see what we can get, because I think the capital can help us down the line. I really do.
Well, you'd hope that it would.
I would hope so.
But I think the fans could be upset if you're just a game or 2 out of the wild card and you deal away 3 pieces like that.
I would agree. And, of course, fans should not be upset about this. Dylan Holloway has signed an extension with the Blues. 5 years, $38 million, and, of course, $7.75 million per year average annual value. That is 5th. Now there are only 4 Blues making more money than Holloway per year, so that means Holloway is going to be making more money than Colton Parayko, Torrey Krug, and, of course, Jordan Binnington are going to be making next year. Pavel Buchnevich, Philip Broberg, Jordan Kyrou, and Robert Thomas, the only 4 Blues higher than Dylan Holloway, and all of them are making $8 million or more. And, of course, Dylan Holloway, he's got to stay healthier, guys. I mean, he's only played in 136 regular season games over the past 2 seasons, 114 points. In that expanded, he's only one, I think, of 25 forwards that has done that over that span. So he's vital for the Blues offense. He's vital. There's no doubt about it. He's very vital. He was second on the team in points this year, second on the team in goals. He is a major factor in the Blues offense, letting them being able to focus on the defense going into this year's draft, and very low chance they're going to get the number 1 overall pick in this lottery. This Gavin McKenna chase that everybody's going on. So it's not likely the Blues are going to be able to draft number 1 overall, but do have multiple first-round picks in order to improve the defense. I'm very excited about what the Blues can do. I think the Blues are closer to a Stanley Cup right now than the Cardinals are to a World Series. Honestly, I really do. I think the Blues are closer to the playoffs than the Cardinals are, because I'm not as confident in the Cardinals pitching to be able to get them to the playoffs. And this division is competitive. You have the Reds, you have the Cubs, you have the Brewers. All of these, it's just a competitive division for the Cardinals, and the road, I think, is going to be only harder for them to get to the playoffs in years down the line, whereas, and the Pirates are a very young team. You got Connor Griffin, you got Brian Reynolds, you got Paul Skeens, and of course, Mitch Keller, and all of these guys. The Pirates have a loaded pirate ship. Now, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Loaded pirate ship.
They do. They're trying to build for the future, but Cardinals are going to have a very tough division in the upcoming years, and they're going to have to be able to compete, and if not, it's going to be hard. It just is. But the Blues, to me, have an easier path to the playoffs than the Cardinals do, even though the National League Central has 5 teams with winning records right now. Folks, it's May. Relax. Things are going to change. The season is long. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, so don't get too optimistic. But I think the Blues are only a couple of defensemen away, and they can make a deep playoff run.
How about that, Doug?
Speaking of which, Mizzou has acquired Kennard Davis out of the transfer portal from Brigham Young University, of course, native St. Louis. And St. Louis, stand up. Graduate from the Vaughn High School back in 2023. He was at BYU this past season. He was a teammate of A.J. DeBonza, Robert Wright, Richie Saunders, and the team was mostly about them, but he started every game for BYU this past season. Every game. Mizzou should have gotten him last year. I know they were pursuing him in the last transfer portal cycle. Now they're getting him. There are 3 things I like about Kennard Davis.
What are they?
First of all, he could be a secondary ball handler because, Jason Crow's going to be the primary ball handler. He's going to be the point guard next season. But you need a secondary ball handler, and I think Davis adds to that. He's a shooter, of course, being at least over a 30% three-point shooter. Davis gives them some shooting help. And the third thing is he's a plus defender. He's a plus defender with some size. He's a combo guard, 6 feet 5-inch combo guard. Native St. Louis. I'm so glad to see Kennard Davis back in a Mizzou uniform, black and gold. I could not be more excited. The depth that Kennard Davis can provide this team. And of course, the St. Louis University. Now, there's more of a mystery unknown. These are high school guys. These are not guys out of the transfer portal. But you have Jamison White, a 6 feet 7-inch small forward. He's the East St. Louis. Just graduated from East St. Louis High School's class of 2026. He averaged at least 20 points per game as they won a Class 3A state championship in Illinois. He's the son of former NBA player Jahadi White, who played at Georgetown, had a long career in the NBA, and Jamison White joining the Billikens. And, of course, the more exciting proposition is that they have acquired Sheik Pearson out of the transfer portal, who redshirted this past season at Marquette. And both who were teammates on the Bradley Beal Elite AAU team. They were in the Nike YBL, which is the top AAU shoe circuit in the country. They won a Peach Jam title together, Jamison White, Sheik Pearson. I like Pearson a lot. He's one of the highest-rated recruits the Billikens have been able to land since Larry Hughes. He's an elite rim protector, an amazing blocker, and this guy has great mobility for this young man. He's got excellent mobility. Pearson graduating from John Burroughs' class of 2026, and, of course, he was coached in high school by former Billiken Darryl Pee Wee Leonard. So definitely glad to see Pearson and White staying home in the Billikens. It's energizing that fan base. This is what I love about Josh Schertz. He doesn't shy away from the media, and he knows how to energize the fan base. And that, to me, is what makes the Billikens exciting. And I think they can make the NCAA tournament again if Pearson and White can live up to potential and their other transfer portal additions live up to potential. Everybody knows the transfer portal is a crapshoot, but the Billikens can strike hot. I believe they can make the NCAA tournament next year. Mizzou has to make the NCAA tournament next year, and they have to win at least one NCAA tournament game in order for Dennis Gates to keep his job. But you got Jason Crow. You got Jason Crow. Now, he's one and done. Jason Crow is a one and done player. You can't be one and done in the tournament with a one and done player. That's the motto Mizzou needs to have next year. You can't be one and done in the tournament with a one and done quality talent like Jason Crow.
How about that, Doug? That's knowledge right there. You just got knowledge dropped
really
on you.
did.
How are you going to respond to that?
Who did better in the portal, the Billikens or the Tigers?
It's a hard question. I think Mizzou's done better, and I'll tell you why. Bryson Tiller, he is a blue-chip talent. He is from Kansas. He was a big. You've got rebounding help with Kerry Jameer Jones, who I think is a guy that can help them extensively. Those are guys that I believe Mizzou is the most talented roster that they have ever had during Dennis Gates' tenure. He's only had really two blue chippers, and Noah Boateng, and we've seen how he's panned out, and Mark Mitchell. You got three blue chippers on this team this upcoming season. Bryson Tiller, Tony Bryant, Jason Crow. Jason Crow and Tony Bryant both started in the McDonald's All-American game. If Tony Bryant can play like a first-round NBA draft pick and he can play like a one-and-done player, two one-and-done players, how could you be one and done in the tournament with two one and done players for the University of Missouri? I don't think that's going to happen. To me, that is why. But in the transfer portal cycle, getting a blue chipper like Bryson Tiller, to me, they have done better so far in the transfer portal because they've gotten more proven commodities. Whereas Sheik Pearson redshirted at Marquette last year, so you don't really know what he's going to be yet. And Elijah Strong, a solid player. We'll see how he shakes out in the roster. And of course, the transfer they got from Colorado, they're trying to add some size. But to me, so far, to answer your question, Doug, I believe Mizzou has done better in the transfer portal in this cycle in 2026 instead of SLU. M-I-Z.
Oh, by Tiger.
Wow.
Absolutely. That's what I'm excited for. And I think, the Blues this offseason, they got to get some defensemen. Defensemen is the key. If you can get them, I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of change. Change will be in the air in St. Louis next year. And, of course, with the Cardinals, I love what I'm seeing out of this offense. I am such a fan of J.J. Weatherholt. For anybody who doesn't think J.J. Weatherholt doesn't deserve the bag and doesn't deserve an extension, I don't know what to tell you. You need to prolong free agency as much as possible. Considering this team is not willing to spend the money in free agency that other teams are willing to spend, you got to give J.J. Weatherholt an extension. I think you give him a $155 million extension right now, 8 years, 9 years, whatever you want to do. Give him some extra years, to add on to that service time to prolong his free agency. What he's done this year, he's second in home runs, only behind Jordan Walker. He's had 7 home runs already, J.J. Weatherholt has. It's not too early. The Pirates have signed Connor Griffin already, and look what the Mariners have done with Cole Emerson. I mean, there are guys that are getting big money extension contracts who haven't even played in a major league game. J.J. Weatherholt's showing more than a lot of guys who've earned extensions early on. To me, J.J. Weatherholt deserves the money. I just think he does. Prolong his free agency. Think about that. Prolong the free agency. Keep him in the Cardinal uniform for as long as possible. Jerseys of Weatherholt flying off the shelves. People are going through the turnstiles to see Walker and Weatherholt right now. The double V. Think about that. That can be potent for your offense in the upcoming years. So to me, give J.J. Weatherholt an extension. Get that deal done.
What's that?
Did you rehearse all this, or you just spitballing, bro?
Well, I think I rehearsed a lot of it.
Did you
I'll be
really?
honest, I rehearsed a lot of it.
That's
I
all right.
do.
I just wondered if you had it just right off the top of your head.
Well, I feel like it comes at the top of my head, but I definitely have rehearsed this because I care about the show. This is the best. It's one of the best shows in all of St. Louis. You
How
got
about that, Doug? How about that?
Absolutely.
How about that, Doug?
You have to be the best in order to be on the best. So that's how I feel. I got to be the best in order to be on the best. That's how I
I'm
feel.
glad I don't feel that way.
That is Brody dropping knowledge, covered everything, and somehow more than we've covered in the 18 months we've been on this station. He did it in 10 minutes. Unbelievable.
Chat GPT right there.
No problem.
Brody, we appreciate it as always, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's Brody Herman, and this is The Morning After. It's presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jackson with a Sports Center update, and that's brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. The Cardinals try to keep this hot streak going with another game against the Brewers tonight, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. Andre Palante on the mound for the Redbirds. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Californication, Doug. Is that a show?
Yeah, with David Duchovny.
David
right?
Duchovny.
Yeah.
I watched a little of that years ago. Boy, it's been a while.
Yeah, it was on like in the early teens, I want to say. It's like 2010-ish.
Almost seems kind of biographical now at this point.
In what way?
Didn't he come out as like a sex addict?
Yeah, the Doug Vaughn Memorial sex addict.
Doug, it is the morning after. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. And that is where you can also find After the Morning After coming up at 11 o'clock. And get involved in the program by texting in, calling in, or emailing in, as we are Juan to do. We're going to have that Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day coming up in this very segment on your polosplus.com dossier. But before we do that, Doug, would you like to tell me about something? I think you would.
How about Collier and Thompson?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Boy, if you're considering a remodel of any kind, Collier and Thompson is the place to go. If it's even a consideration to do a remodel, start the conversation now with one of the Collier and Thompson professionals. When you remodel your home, you want to do it the right way. You got to plan ahead. Start the conversation right now. Take a visit out to Collier and Thompson's showroom that gets updated very often. They have more than 10,000 square feet out there, more than 20 kitchen displays. You can get some great ideas. The designers will all be very helpful for you. Collier and Thompson, always updating that showroom with fresh ideas. Stop in and check it out. Collier and Thompson also has their own painting division. Phil, the manager, has a 5-person team. Don't want an entire remodel? Trust Collier and Thompson paint team to do it the right way. Trust is a big word with Collier and Thompson because they know in that industry there's a lot of people that you can't necessarily trust in the remodeling industry. But Collier and Thompson, you can forget about that worry because they've been around since the 1950s. Many of the people they have working for them have been there 10, 20 years. These are absolutely the best in town that can turn your kitchen, your master bathroom, your bar, your wine room, whatever. They can turn it into a showplace, and you'll be very, very proud of your home. Collier and Thompson's on Manchester Road in Manchester, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Collier and Thompson, come home to quality online at collierandthompson.com.
Time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Doug's pissed. Where's the music?
Timing's everything.
Morning, Bottoms. Sometimes you just can't make this S up. So my wife was watching the recording of the Kelly Clarkson show yesterday, and Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir are guest hosting. They're talking to some dude that is involved with the Animal Farm movie. Tara asks if he had pets as a kid. He goes on with some long story about having a gerbil. While he is telling the story, Johnny Weir says, I'll take the gerbil.
Oh.
Thoughts? That's from Burning Drip Mushroom Tip.
You think that's true? Burning Drip Mushroom Tip.
I'm going to say it's true. But therefore, I have to tell you, I'm surprised that wasn't in our Fun with Audio if it is.
No.
Is that true?
I'm sorry. No.
What's going on with you?
No,
what the hell are you doing over there?
I was distracted, and that's
By
on
what?
me. Nothing to worry about.
Oh!
Okay.
I mean, if I were distracted...
I know. I got to lock in. This is the Design Air
What's
Heating and
going on?
Cooling email of the day of all.
You need a little Addy bump?
No. Nope. I'm locked back in.
Well, how are you supposed to vote?
I know.
Come on, Mark-ass Buster.
You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to open the email of the day inbox and read that myself to make
It's
sure.
about Johnny Weir co-hosting as a fill-in the Kelly Clarkson show and saying he wants a gerbil.
They did guest host yesterday.
And he wants a gerbil?
I just think the story's too absurd to be made up. That's my reasoning for folding. I think Burning Drip Mushroom Tip has it. I'm just surprised.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out.
Oh, are you? Okay. I wouldn't waste too much time on it.
How dare you? Guys, all this rain has me thinking about one of your sponsors. So I composed this little ditty in the hopes that it will serve as a bat signal to Lifetime Roofing to send help ASAP. Up on my rooftop, the rain does hit. Down in my kitchen, drip, drip, drip. Guys, I really need help. with my place. Hey there, Doug. Will you sit on?
No,
right there.
no.
That's
Who was it?
Unknown DJ.
Unknown DJ. How about a little stay at the appliance discounter suspension log for you? Let's go 2 days time, and I'm only going to hit you with a 5% tariff
That's
on
not
this
bad.
one. Yeah.
Hey, Jackson, quit sleeping at the wheel.
That's from Scissor Me Timbers.
Was that a text or an email?
That was a text.
Okay, sorry. I'm finding out more. They did. Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski hosted the Kelly Clarkson show yesterday, and they had Andy Serkis on.
And they talked gerbils?
No. Andy Serkis did play a chimpanzee in the Planet of the Apes movies. So yeah, Caesar is home. But
that'd be disappointing as an actor, wouldn't it? You finally get your first big role and it says a monkey.
No, Andy Serkis. I think Andy Serkis has been a lot. Wasn't he in Lord of the Rings? I think he's been in a ton of stuff. But he's like the king of motion capture. I digress.
The king of motion capture. The hell?
That's what happens on Movie Boy, man.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know what that even means.
Morning, gents. I'm headed to the Cardinal game tomorrow. I wanted to know which bathroom stall's hosting the Doug meet and greet. And I'll be wearing my newfound needlepoint boy shorts with 3-inch inseam. I'm hoping the queue isn't long, as I don't want to miss the Cesar Prieto Memorial at bat during the getaway day. That's from Bobby Greenbacks.
Bobby Greenbacks.
Fellas, Big Tank here.
Oh, it's Jerry Big Tank Delvecchio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember back in 99 when radio got real skinny? Swapping 60s like baseball cards and calling 5:42 a.m. prime real estate with a straight face to bra shops? A lot of make goods. A lot of, we'll take you next quarter. Not a lot of checks clearing. So I picked up a side hustle slanging cars at buy here, pay here, a lot off Telegraph. Just trying to keep the lights on while pretending Cardinal rain delays and St. Louis Vipers blackouts was all part of the media plan. The Vipers were blacked out.
I don't know that they were.
Anyways, we had this Miata on the lot. Thing looked like it had lived a full life and then some, but it ran, more or less, and everybody used it. Need gas, grab the Miata. Lunch run, Miata. Looking for a place to stay for a while after the wife caught you talking provocatively to your best buddy on a website where you were pretending to be a girl.
Oh. And she got mad at that?
Apparently, that's when you would grab the Miata. And for a while, it did the job. Then it just kind of hung around, scaring away paying customers. Nobody owned it. Nobody took care of it. It just sat there like a folding chair that never gets put away, collecting cups, change, and cigarette butts. Eventually, the manager says, we're done with it. We push it to the back lot, let it become low-income housing for the hobos and field mice. It sat back there for over a year, just baking in the sun and minding its business. Then corporate shows up for one of those meetings where there are no bad ideas. Next thing you know, we're dragging the Miata back out front. Quick rinse, little wipe down, hang a smell-good tree on the rear view, slap certified pre-owned on the windshield, and now it's got a whole new story, which is a story about the stories it used to tell. Same car, just more unearned confidence, and the lot was once again full of paying customers. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this new After the Morning After show. Doug, that's from Jerry Big
long.
Tank Delvecchio.
Big Tank Delvecchio.
So the Vipers were blacked out.
I guess they didn't want anyone watching.
This show challenges us to dream big. For some people, it could be having enough of a social media presence, as well as ignoring Jackson throughout college, to be asked to host, which obviously leads to the opportunity to ask Iggy to see his 40-year-old Speedo picture. For some, it could be spending 70 years in media building a brand that stretches from Pine Lawn all the way to St. Anne. But let me tell you, if I ever pour my life savings, along with my sweat and tears, into starting my dream business, I am definitely going to name it after one of the top 3 favorite actresses of my geriatric uncle, who is an Olympic-caliber pervert. That's the key to success, and something that Iggy actually claimed with the place called Aubrey. That's from Shooter McGavin, the vice president of WNBA hats for guys who lean hetero.
Oh, Shooter McGavin, vice president of NBA hats. WNBA hats for players who lean.
No. Guys. This, I believe, is in reference to Jackson's Valkyries hat.
Oh, that's right. That's unfortunate.
And finally, dear Hubbard HR, I am writing to report a workplace incident that has permanently altered my vision and my will to live. Today I was ambushed during what I naively believed would be a standard fill-in shift on The Morning After, a show I was asked to co-host because I took one class at Mizzou 6 years ago with its producer and have a sarcastic Twitter page. Why do we have back-to-back emails about gluten-free perk? Jackson, what's going on here? Did we talk about gluten-free perk today?
Yesterday on ATN.
Yesterday on ATN.
Oh, wow. All
I
right.
found the gerbil sound, too, so you have that to look forward to.
Oh, dog. This Polos Plus dossier. We talked about gluten-free perk on... Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
And have a sarcastic Twitter page. I was returning from a break when an overcooked octogenarian sporting a Brazzers hat shuffled over and thrust his jitterbug phone in my face as though he were going to show me a selfie of him and Harry Truman. It was not a Buck Stops Here selfie. It was a photograph of him from 1993 in his Speedo, smaller than the starting salary of a journalism major.
Ooh.
He had apparently been waiting over 30 years for someone new to this show, and sure enough today, God help me, that someone was me. And then he said, and I need you to understand I'm not paraphrasing, thanks for asking to see this pic. He winked and turned, leaving a cloud of cigarette smoke in his trail and muttering something about learn. I would like to request therapy, hazard pay, and for that photo to be permanently deleted from existence using whatever means necessary. Traumatically yours. That's from Gluten-Free Perk, DBA, the TMA Troubadour. And that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. We shall vote, and we shall announce the winner before BK and Ferrario take over at 11 o'clock. The program is called The Morning After. It's presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Hmm. Doug, what do we got going on here right now?
Is this Adele again?
Yeah, good call there, Doug. This is Skyfall.
And it's because Adele is celebrating her 38th birthday.
Yeah, the same name of the Bond film in which it appears.
What's up?
This sounds like a James Bond song.
It's a Bond song. Do you have a favorite Bond song?
Nobody does it better.
Mm-hmm. Is Diamonds Are Forever? Is that one?
That was the name of the movie. I don't know if that was the name of the song.
I think there was a Diamonds Are Forever song.
What, are we going to just stop for you to look that up?
Sure.
Okay.
Why am I letting this happen?
I don't know. That's
On
pretty
the
good.
show
One.
that I
found it.
that I
It was
birthed
one.
in 2004 and Jackson's killing on May 5th, 2026.
No, I think this is pretty good.
I even forgot what you're looking up.
Madonna did one, Die Another Day.
Oh, James Bond tunes.
And she's now got a collab with Sabi.
Does she?
Mm-hmm.
Chairman knows about it.
I know she did some with Dolly Parton a few years ago.
Doug, did you see Sabrina Carpenter's outfit at the Met Gala?
No, I didn't. How was it?
Are you telling me you didn't watch the interviews at the Met?
No.
What were you doing?
I was playing golf most of the night.
Jeez.
Up until
How's the
about
patriarchy?
Oh, gosh.
You played yesterday?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's okay.
Shot 4 under. I was surprised.
No, I didn't.
With strokes gained around the green.
No way.
Jackson, you did see Sabrina Carpenter's outfit. What did you think of that?
Sabrina Carpenter at the Met Gala.
He's looking that up, too.
Well, I want to be informed, you know? God forbid.
Her dress,
Yeah.
I'll expedite this because for whatever reason, Jackson didn't come prepared for the Design Air Heating and Cooling 10 o'clock hour. Her dress, Doug, was not a dress. Nay.
What was it?
Nay. It was a fabric constructed of film
Yeah,
from
film
the
rolls.
1955 picture Sabrina.
Oh,
so sick.
I think that's actually pretty cool.
See? That's
Yeah,
movie
I
boy.
figured you'd like it.
And it's like a diamond kind of tiara thing. It's like diamond bangs. Pretty cool if you ask me.
The Met Gala might be the dumbest event in the world. Some Eric in the Central West End.
Yeah, I would figure that would make him nauseous.
Yeah.
Because people are enjoying themselves.
What about the Jawline King going to the Garden instead of the Met Gala?
Pro move.
So you support that?
Yeah.
So now you're in lockstep with Eric in the Central West End. Doug, that, of course, being Timothy Chalamet. And his best gal went by herself, Stag.
Oh, so he could go to the basketball game?
Right.
Yeah.
Jackson calls him the Jawline King.
Sitting courtside at MSG for a Knicks playoff game or going to the Met Gala, which is there every year, it would be no question for me.
Okay.
Now, as Bo, Kylie Jenner, I'm not sure how she would feel about that, or felt about that. I don't. Were they together last night, Doug?
I don't know. Look that up, too, while you're doing it. I don't know.
Of course, Libby Thomas Anderson loved that stupid outfit. That's Eric in the Central West End.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's creative, if nothing else.
Yeah, it is creative.
If you went to pick up a lass, a lucky lady going out to Tam Ave with you, and she was dressed in film, how would you feel?
I'd say maybe you're overdoing it just a touch.
So you'd say that. You know, it probably wouldn't be well received because she thinks it looks good. Otherwise, she wouldn't be wearing it.
I would tell her, you look great. Just
So your
time and
relationship would be
place.
built on dishonesty.
Well, softening my opinions, I guess, would be. So you could say that's dishonesty. But, you know, I think it'd be cool. With all the diamonds and stuff, I'd be like, probably not your best idea for hanging out outside of a bonfire in, Dogtown. But, do what you got to do.
Is dressing up for the Derby the same as adult Halloween? Thanks, that's from Starfish Street.
Good
Similar.
question.
For hats, anyway.
Yeah. A lot of bright colors.
I don't think women look very good in those big hats. I think
The
it's
really big floppy ones.
Yeah, it's dumb.
They have like a brooch on the top.
Yeah.
I'm kind of out on it too. And I think the really colorful suits are pretty goofy looking too.
Yeah. But if they're only going to do it one day a year,
Right.
What the hell?
You can wear stuff like that on Easter, the Derby.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. You're kind of
Halloween.
limited. Yeah, that's not a great Halloween costume. I prefer to look scary.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
If you're looking scary and the dad bod's starting to weigh on you, maybe it's time to talk to the people at Mentality. Tired of always waking up exhausted, finding it harder to get excited about basically anything? If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, it might not be that you're, quote, just getting older. Good chance your hormones and metabolism are out of balance. So let's get back to the old you. You remember that guy, sharp at work, full of energy, fun, the one people enjoyed being around? That's where Mentality comes in. They're not a macho, low-T bro clinic. They're human-centered, and their mission's to figure out what's really going on in your body and your brain. Mentality starts by listening. They'll run real labs and explain your results in plain English, then build a personalized science-backed plan using hormone therapy and FDA-approved peptide treatments to help get your brain and body back on track. So stop telling yourself and everyone around you that you're fine. Right now, all new patient labs will be covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250 right out of the gate. Reclaim the old you, the younger you with Mentality. Schedule your appointment now at lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com, LOWTUSA.com. Jeremy Rutherford's results from his Blues fan survey. We'll have them for you next here on the presentation. And then Lance Lynn opines on Cardinal celebrations.
Oh, really?
We'll have that for you next as well. The program's called The Morning After. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN.
It's true. Good things do come to those who wait. At Stifel, great things come from knowing when to act. 135 years in business now, Stifel's been helping individuals, families, and business owners make thoughtful financial decisions. Founded in St. Louis in 1890, Stifel combines deep local roots with national capabilities. Customized wealth management, investment banking, traditional banking. Stifel delivers it all. Fully integrated solutions designed for complex financial lives, whether you are growing, preserving, or transitioning wealth. This long-term mindset is why Stifel proudly supports long-running programs like TMA. Success is all about timing, knowing when the moment is actually the moment, which on sports radio usually happens right after we've seen the replay. Okay. Investing, banking, advising, Stifel, where success meets success. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Got me feeling like it's summer 98. When I see 18 digging at the plate, dropping bombs at a Big Mac pace. Looks like we got another home run chase. I still think back to summer 98. Listening to Jack Buck, staying up too late. Summer blockbuster, rewind the tape. Jordan Walker got me feeling like it's summer 98. Welcome to the jungle, I can still hear it. 61 said he never get near it. Watching Big Mac back and forth with Sammy Sosa. Things we didn't speak about, familiar Cosa Nostra. Homer after homer.
And we are in the Stiefel. Studios. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn. Chairman Kurt slides into the dais when Martin has onboarding and Jackson Burkett with you. BK and Ferrario coming up at the top of the hour. Chairman has a banger. That's from Brad Underwood's International Tracksuit. Sharon and Clayton says, the Summer Jam. It's so good. That's Sharon and Clayton. Do you feel like there's an alliance there now, Chairman, or is that...
I am partial to Sharon. If she wants to stay connected with
Harrison's Brother Master,
I'm out on that.
That's tough.
But in a vacuum, I'm a Sharon guy.
I think she's going to stand by Harrison's Brother Master.
That's fine. I don't blame her for that.
They're a force.
She's loyal.
What's the greatest tag team champion in WWE history heel pairing? Doug?
You think I know? The greatest tag team pairing?
Heel, though.
Strictly WWE, or can I go into WCW?
Yeah, I'll accept WCW.
The Outsiders?
Oh, the Outsiders. Big, sexy. Razor Ramon.
Do you know Buff Bagwell?
Sure.
We're having Buff Bagwell on
yes, I know that.
Pondos Anonymous this weekend.
I was with Pondoff yesterday, and he was telling me he's coming in. Doug, you remember Buff Bagwell?
Oh, yeah, we met him at the MAC a couple years ago.
And then Big Papa Pump is your hookup, Scott Steiner.
Okay.
Is that Scott Steiner?
I don't know.
There's
yes,
Rick Steiner.
Was the dog-faced gremlin. He wore the headgear, and he would get out on his all fours and bark. He was the dog-faced gremlin.
The dog-faced gremlin?
You know, the Cardinal dugout barks when they hit home runs, and now they got the chain, Doug. You like that chain that they wear when they hit home runs?
It's fine. Sure, it's fine.
All right. What do you think Lance Lynn thinks? Jackson, where does this come from?
Cards Territory.
Cardinal Territory Podcast. Cards Territory Podcast. This is Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, Matt Holliday, and Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
I'm all for, like, for me, if I strike you out, I'm going to do whatever it is that I did back in the day. And then if you hit a home run off me, you can flip your bat and you can go to the dugout and pop your chain and wear your hat. I don't really care. So I'm for it. I think everybody, it's no different than having walk-up songs and stuff like that. It is the game these days. So when it is a big home run and certain things, celebrate it on the field, and then you have your guys in the dugout. So I think this surprises Jim that I would be pro home run chain and stuff like that. But we play in an age of day where you are trying to make the game fun and all these other things that go on. It's a no-doubter. You got to have something because there's only so many home runs you're going to hit in this game, and there's only so many times you're going to be able to celebrate and with your teammates and do stuff like that. So I'm all for it.
All right.
Lance Lynn's on board.
I didn't think he'd be on board with that either.
I do think we need a hot take chain for in here.
We got the mittens.
I have a big costume chain from when I dressed as Sexy Red for Halloween a couple years ago. I could bring that in.
Okay. And we put on it when we get off a real good hot take.
Yeah, I'll just come and drape it right over your neck.
You know, we were walking into the old ball yard on Sunday, Doug, and we were behind a lass wearing red boots with the fur. Do you like that look?
Red boots with the fur.
Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
The whole place was looking at her.
Nice. Look at you.
Okay. When was this?
This was on Sunday at Busch Memorial Stadium.
Fur boot compatible?
Wearing what I would describe as Daisy Dukes. Look at them girls with the Daisy Duke jeans on. Remember that? No. 95-ish in that range?
I'm not sure I remember that one.
And initially, was that 95 South and Tag Team had Whoop, There It Is, and then Tag Team came along with Whoop, There It Is. And then tag teams got popular. Remember that?
No, I don't really know.
Okay. Well, the Daisy Duke song, also super popular, I believe, in that same era. So these were Daisy Dukes, so shorts, and then red boots with fur.
That Katy Perry? Was that the Daisy Duke thing?
You're thinking of California Girls.
Yeah. That's not what you're talking about.
No, sir.
Okay.
This was a girl at Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
What do you think of the look?
It depends on the girl. There are some girls who can pull off absolutely anything, and there's some girls where just about everything looks bad.
Doug was wearing Daisy Dukes at the game, too. That's an MD 2020.
Mm-hmm. Where the pockets hang out below the bottom of the short.
Sometimes.
Yeah, now things are getting steamy.
Back in the day, we didn't just run and go get new jeans. If our jeans had a hole in them, we cut them off and wore blue jean shorts.
Sure. Topless at the Cardinal game?
Once, yeah.
You proud of that moment?
No. I guess I was hot. And I mean, temperature hot.
Well, I would say physically.
No, I don't think so.
It's my opinion.
I'll go Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. That's a good one. That's a good heel pairing there.
Don't sleep on Baron von Raschke and Blackjack Lanza.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Boy, were they ever a snoot.
They really used to like to capitalize on having heels that were like societal enemies of America,
like
right?
the Red Rooster.
Yeah. And there was a guy from Iran there for a while. Remember him?
The Iron Sheik. We literally just said it.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the same
He
guy.
just recently passed away?
Doug?
I don't know.
Didn't he just recently die? The Iron
I
Sheik?
stopped crowdsourcing years ago.
know.
Something that I felt really strongly about. Like, I'm not going to crowdsource
Yeah,
on here.
Jackson, 3 years ago.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I mean, why are you dunking on us when you're the one asking for information?
This guy's got just a steel stomach. Looks like it's made of granite.
Who's this?
The Iron Sheik.
Oh.
All of his pictures, he's topless.
I remember him saying, USA bad, Iran good.
That was the speech? That was his mic work?
Yeah, and we were all supposed to be really upset by it.
People were throwing things into the ring. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the final scene of Bruno. Doug, here are your Blues fan survey results. Jeremy Rutherford, who will be in studio tomorrow, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. When the Athletic sent out the St. Louis Blues fan survey last week, one of the 20 questions asked readers which of a set of 4 contract proposals they would be most comfortable with for forward Dylan Holloway. Well, in the 7 days since, we got the news. Holloway's agreed to terms on a 5-year, $38.75 million contract, a $7.75 million AAV. So we'll get a chance with the survey to see how the real numbers match up to what fans hope for, in addition to other questions that nearly 2,000 people participated in. That's a big sample size. Here you go. Was 2025-2026 a step forward in the retool? 69.2% said yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah.
You make the playoffs one year, you don't make it the next, and that's a step up?
Jeremy Rutherford says, I'm in agreement with the majority. While I did make a bold prediction before the season that the Blues would finish third in the Central, I didn't believe this was a roster strong enough to make a playoff run. The season turned out much worse than expectations, but the Blues intelligently pivoted and got significant assets for veteran players. They gave significant roles to young players who performed better than I expected. There seems to be promise for the future. I really don't have a promise with either answer because I think you can make a case either way. If you look at it through the lens of, my God, we were thinking this was a playoff team for certain, especially coming off the run at the end of last year and the disappointment in the first round. By the way, it was a year ago last night of 1.6. They celebrate that like a holiday in Winnipeg.
I bet they do.
I could certainly see how you would call it a disappointment, because if you would have told me that the Blues would wind up where they wound up and that the season was pretty much over to the point that they traded those guys away at the deadline that JR writes about, then you would have told me that on opening night. I would say, well, what the hell? That's a terrible disappointment. But considering who they got and that you started to see some youth develop, I could see how you could answer what wound up winning, which was that it was a step forward. Who was the Blues' most disappointing player? Doug, the choices were Buchnevich, Binnington, Kyrou, Parayko, or other. What do you think?
I'd say Kyrou.
Kyrou, 52.4% of the vote. Yeah. 89 received 31% of the vote. Binnington, 14%. Colton Parayko, 1.6%. JR writes, this result should not be a surprise to anyone. When I wrote the Blues report card last month, Jordan Kyrou, Pavel Buchnevich, and Jordan Binnington were the 3 players whom I gave the poorest grades, D-. Kyrou finished with 18 goals after 37, 31, and 38 the previous season, so I think fans got this one correct. But that shouldn't take Buchnevich or Binnington off the hook. Their struggles had an equal impact on the failed season. Should the Blues trade Robert Thomas? What What do you think?
I'd say no to that.
97.1% agree with you.
Okay.
Would you be okay if the Blues sold low on Jordan Kyrou?
No, I wouldn't sell low on anybody.
50.3% said yes. 49.7% said no. How about that? Damn near 50-50. JR writes, I'm of the belief that if the Blues trade Kyrou, they shouldn't sell low. He's a proven goal scorer in the NHL, and I think he's going to get 40 one day. As much as it seems like a change of scenery is necessary, now is not the time to trade him unless you're getting good value. You don't deal a score just because you want to move him, and I'm glad to see half of you agree. 50-50 on that in the Blues fan base.
Well, he was the best goal scorer the last 3 years before this. You don't want to give him away for nothing.
Would you attach a first-round pick to trade Pavel Buchnevich? 64% said no.
Really?
Not. Should the Blues trade Colton Parayko? 73% said no. Should the Blues trade Jordan Binnington? How about this? 50.2% said no. 49.8% said yes. Wow. We've got another 50-50.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone is thinking along the same terms that he's probably not going to be happy with a backup role, and he makes a ton of money, and you might be able to get a good player for him. It would make sense, I think, to trade him now.
What is the Blues' biggest need this offseason? Defensive depth, secondary scoring, second-line center, fourth-line upgrades, or other?
Secondary scoring.
I agree with you. Secondary scoring. Yep. And that one, 49.3%. Second-line center, 32.8%. JR writes, I hope fans agreed with the options that I provided. I agree with secondary scoring being the most pressing, but there needs to be a distinction. When the offense needed an injection in the past, it meant the Blues should sign or trade for a second-line forward or two. In this case, with so many players under contract and a couple who may not be tradable, it'll have to come from current players performing better. You can read more of the survey at The Athletic. That is where Jeremy Rutherford writes, and you can hear him on 101 ESPN throughout the week and on Wednesdays in the 8 o'clock hour here on The Morning After, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency in studio with us yesterday. He is online at carltoninsurance.net. That's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, my insurance agent, Jackson's insurance agent, Jamie Rivers, BK and Ferrario. They all made the switch. We recommend you make the switch as well. That's James Carlton at 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net. The customer service and the ability to save you money. That's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. 455-star reviews. James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. The program's called TMA. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN. FanDuel's giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment, from spreads to player points to threes and more. Build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So, if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Jackson Burkett, you've got to play.
Man, FanDuel does this awesome thing where if you bet a money line play in this NBA playoffs, they'll give you a token where if the team goes up 10, the team you bet on money line, you get paid out for the entire game. So if you take the Cavaliers tonight at plus 126 on money line and they go up 10 points at any point in the game over the Pistons, you get the full payout. If you want to take even bigger risk with the Lakers, who are plus 640 against the Thunder, they go up 10, boom, you get paid out.
There you go. Jackson Burkett with your play. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. Must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Jackson with a SportsCenter update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Timberwolves beat the Spurs last night, 104-102, to take a 1-0 series lead. Anthony Edwards with 18 points off the bench. That was another SportsCenter update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my Windows.
Smooth Criminal. Jackson's going to see the film Michael today with Herb and Private Citizen Pete and Oatmeal. That'll be fun, you guys getting together.
It's going to be lovely. It's a nice little afternoon.
Sounds like you're not looking forward to it, but you feel an obligation to your podcast movie boy.
I have to see it.
What do you think it's going to be?
I'm trying to go in with an open mind, but I've seen some clips and I just can't fathom this being something I enjoy. But you know
killed
what?
the box office, brah.
And a lot of things have killed at the box office that I have not enjoyed.
Give me an example of something like that. Non-superhero genre, non-animated genre.
Oh, that's a good question there then.
Yeah.
Something that
That's what I do. That's what I do, man.
Pretty sure that Elvis movie probably did pretty well at the box office, and I found it to be straight drivel.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of entertaining.
Not for me.
Elitist.
I'm just not a Baz Luhrmann guy.
Doug, you are
You're
a Baz
not
Luhrmann
a Baz Luhrmann guy. Wouldn't even know which guy that was.
Who's the director of the film?
Okay, I still wouldn't know who the director of the film was.
Jackson, who won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day?
That I can tell you with confidence. Tight voting today, by the way. It was a good batch, I would say. Very good batch. TMA Troubadour.
TMA Troubadour has won.
Did you say Design Air? Well, when it comes to heating and cooling, trust the name that's been around longer than all of us, that's for sure. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, proudly serving the area since 1904. More than a century of keeping homes comfortable and customers happy. You're probably not going to need the Airco today, but you know, the time is coming soon when you will. Maybe it'd be a good idea to have a regular maintenance done on your air conditioner. It's what I do every year, and Design Air specializes in that. They have a special program for that kind of service. At Design Air, they believe in honest work. You're not going to be sold something that you don't need nor want. When you're dealing with the St. Louis cold or the summer heat that's on its way, they've got your back with dependable service and no-pressure solutions. Visit DesignAirService.com. Schedule your service today. Design Air's comfort you can count on since 1904 and home of the handsome repairman, including the heavily muscled and highly regarded Brian. Design Air brings the heat.
There it is. Design Air, sponsor of the email of the day. Congratulations to TMA Troubadour, BK and Ferrario. Up next, we're heading down the hallway for Jackson Burkett, for Chairman Kurt, for Martin Kilcoyne, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn. I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Morning After, presented by Brown and Crouppen from the Stiefel Studios on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel.